Welcome to the One Life, One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I have a very, very fucking special guest. I've been waiting to do this for over a year. We've been talking about this. Pandemic hit, life hit, everything hit. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Randy Blythe.
How you doing?
Thank you so much for being here, man.
That's cool, man.
This is awesome.
The pink kitchen.
Yeah. And you just told me before this that your name means cheerful in Old English.
It does.
It's pretty cool, man.
It does.
We're going to find out during this podcast if you are cheerful.
My first name is David. It means beloved of God.
Wow.
And, yeah, I don't know about that either. But my middle name is Randall, and it means protected by wolves in Old English.
Get a powerful name, man.
Beloved of God, cheerful, protected by wolves. Dude, I don't know. It's kind of a mess.
So, well, your parents gave that name, obviously.
Yeah.
You have siblings?
I have 3 younger brothers.
Wow. So you're born in Richmond, Virginia?
No, I was born in Fort Meade, Maryland.
Oh, nice.
February 21st, 1971.
Would that be where I used to live in St. Mary's County, Lexington Park, Maryland? Is that near there? No.
I don't know where. I only lived there for about a year and a half. It's north of D.C., about 20 minutes. It's my dad was in the Air Force.
Nice.
He had gotten drafted into the Army during Vietnam to go catch bullets, like all people with no money do. You know, the rich people don't have to. So they're like, you're going to the Army to catch money. But he was really smart and was a college graduate. So someone looked at his test scores and was like, wait, you're smart. We need him. So they put him in the Air Force, and he designed a couple of things actually that are used in airplanes today. He has a couple of patents,
such as
some sort of like some sort of high level nerdery technological thing,
technical shit. Okay,
yeah, he has a patent.
That's
cool,
couple
man. Patents, but because he invented that while he was in the armed services, that's automatically the property of the government. So, but he was in the Air Force and luckily didn't get killed in Vietnam, and otherwise I wouldn't be here. And then he was working for the NSA, and that's in Fort Meade, Maryland, doing like egghead code cracking stuff during the Cold War. And I was born there.
Yeah. And so you went to school there? You grew up there?
No. I lived there for about a year and a half.
Okay, and then you went to?
And then I lived in Fort Meade for about a year and a half. My younger brother was born in D.C., and I think it was D.C. he was born. And then my dad had this, what they call the calling. You know, he's a super smart guy. He is an electrical engineer. Yeah. Really, I don't know, math-oriented kind of guy, which is the opposite of me.
I was going to ask you that, yeah.
But then he felt what they call the calling, and he decided to go to seminary to become a minister.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So we moved to Wake Forest, North Carolina, and those are my earliest memories.
Yeah.
Where he was at the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, and this is before the Southern Baptist went full crazy fundamentalist stuff. You know. So we grew up there until I was probably 3 or 4, I guess, and then he got a church. He graduated and got assigned to be the pastor of a church in a little town outside Wilmington, North Carolina. A little tiny town called Hallsboro, North Carolina, with 1 traffic light. That was it. 1 traffic light in the general store. And
holy shit.
So while we were there, me, him, my brother Mark, my mom, and then my mom had another kid, my brother Scott. Okay. And we were the preacher's kids, you know.
Wow.
And then a combination of events happened. My parents, it didn't work out for them. Yeah. They're still cool today. Yeah. You know, they're much better apart than they were together. You know, they're totally cool. But they decided to split. And then there was some weird stuff in the church.
Gotcha.
That my dad was like, nah, I'm not going to deal with this. It doesn't fit my ethics. So
respect that.
So my mom stayed in North Carolina to go to college, right? in Wilmington. And my brothers and I moved to a little tiny paper mill town called Franklin, Virginia, Southampton County, Virginia, where my dad grew up. And we lived on my grandma's farm for a few years. And
moved around, man.
Yeah. And then lived in this little paper mill town up until, I don't know, my senior year in high school. And then my dad remarried and we moved to the Tidewater area of Virginia, which is like Norfolk, Virginia Beach.
Yeah, I know that.
And I graduated high school, and then I moved to Richmond in 1989.
Wow, man. That's a lot. Were your parents strict when they were together?
When they were together, I mean, it's been so long ago.
Yeah.
When they were together.
Like pushing religion on you and stuff like that? Or
it wasn't like... I don't know if it was so much pushing religion on me as like it was just kind of like that's what you do when you're the preacher's kid. Of
course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it was really weird, you know, because like, I was totally, as much as a child can conceive of any sort of spirituality, I was a very spiritual person at a young age. I believed in this God, the Christian God, that I was taught. That's the only conception. And then I saw this weird hypocrisy in the church, and I was like, okay, I'm done with that.
At a young age, you saw that, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
And my parents split up at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was very, I hate to use the word traumatic, but very
I can see that, yeah.
strange, life-altering time, you know? And then, you know, because my dad was educated, like I said.
Yeah, smart.
He taught he did a few things after we left that little church. He was like a prison chaplain. He worked as a hospital chaplain, and he taught electrical engineering at a community college at the same time. He worked like 2 or 3 jobs.
Yeah,
a lot of times to provide for me and my brothers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And did the best that he could while my mom was getting her degree so that she could, you know, support herself as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, my dad was pretty strict. And we have a great relationship now. Yeah. You know, because I think you grow as I think it's hard for children to conceive of their parents as just human beings. They're just human beings.
So true, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't understand that they have issues and flaws and
they're not perfect, yeah. Superheroes.
Yeah. Yeah. So like we have a great relationship now. And
awesome.
I think we've both grown and matured because I was so different. He was as a child, I know he was super square, right? And I'm a nerd, don't get me wrong. I'm still a proud nerd, but he was like I'm like a Hellraiser nerd, you know what I mean? And he was like a square nerd.
Gotcha.
So, I being the and I was a weirdo in school too. Never fit in. Yeah. You know.
But super smart, good grades, all that.
I got good grades generally, not because I worked at it, because school was just seemed stupid and easy to me. Except for like when it got to advanced math stuff, I just wasn't.
I didn't even make it to that. Yeah,
I wasn't interested in it.
Was it too easy for you?
School, in a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
But math too, because your dad was great at math.
My dad didn't understand why I couldn't comprehend math. I was good. Like, I enjoyed like geometry because it looked like a puzzle. Yeah. But like abstract math, like when you got to like calculus and algebra and stuff, I'm like X plus Y equals Z, right? And I'm like, that says nothing concrete to me. Yeah. That's abstract shit. Yeah. Why do I give a shit about that?
I need to know that. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and it's not applicable in my life today. So, yeah, I mean, but I was always a weirdo in school. And like, we didn't have money because, you know, my dad was a preacher and then he was a community college teacher. Yeah. They don't make money. Yeah. you know, my mom is like working as a waitress. She doesn't have money. None of us have fucking money, you know? Yeah. So when you're a kid and you move to these new places and you didn't grow up there and they see you don't have money, you're like, I always wore hand-me-down clothes and shit. And children can be cruel.
Totally.
You know, and they're like, oh, look at you. You got those Bobo shoes on, and
yeah. And just about making friends, you have to make friends all the time, keep moving and shit. Like,
yeah, and I was just too weird. Like, I didn't understand why people cared about like things like nice clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand
fitting in and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to fit in, and I tried for a little bit, and it just didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, well, fuck everybody.
Yeah.
And I was pretty miserable. And then I discovered punk rock music.
It's a lifesaver, man.
The best.
And skateboarding too around the same time?
Yes, right around the same time.
Came hand in hand back then, you know?
Yes.
It was like the soundtrack for it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how'd you find that? Like,
well, I went to this gifted and talented program in the summer when I was the summer of 6th and 7th grade.
Yeah.
And it was at the college UVA, University of Virginia.
Yeah.
You know? So a bunch of basically nerds went to college. I went to college in the summer and took classes that you could get college credit for when I was in like 6th and 7th grade. And at that time, because I lived in this little tiny like redneck town, right?
Yeah.
There was no internet. There was no record store there.
Yeah.
I didn't have a car. I was in like 6th or 7th grade. I had no conception of what music could be outside of what was played on the radio.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Did your parents play music in the house at all or no?
My dad, we listened to a lot of like NPR.
Okay.
And my dad growing up liked a lot of jazz, a lot of the Beach Boys and stuff. I got some love of music from him, but I didn't understand. I didn't like most music. I don't think. I was like, this is just boy meets girl bullshit again and again and again.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked. I remember I liked the Motley Crue record "Shout at the Devil." I was like, there's something about that record where it seems like they're pissed.
Yeah.
Because they were.
For sure.
You know, even though they're, you know, I mean, I'm friends with like Nikki Sixx now, you know. Talked to him about that record and some of its political shit, you know. But I was like, that was about the most aggressive type stuff I had heard.
Yeah.
You know, except for my brother had a Black Sabbath cassette. Because, I mean, you could get that at Kmart, you know, or whatever. So I go off to this gifted and talented school, and I'm skateboarding at that time because my mom is living in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. So we were always going to the beach, you know, and becoming involved in that sort of the beach culture, you know, and I was starting to skate. My first skateboard was a Vision Gator. My
Sick.
First one, a green
Gator
Vision Gator. Yeah.
Wow.
Who later, we all know what he did. But
I had that board too. It was a great board, man.
Yeah.
Sick.
I rode it forever until I broke it doing an acid drop off a van outside of a park. But I had my skateboard there, and there was this kid from Virginia Beach. I was living in this little redneck town, and this kid from Virginia Beach was at the gifted and talented camp, and he was like, "Oh man, you know, you're listening to that Motley Crue stuff. You need to hear this." And he gave me a cassette tape. And on one side was the Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks. And on the other side, I think, was some Bob Marley. And and that immediately, when I heard the first track, Holidays in the Sun, it starts.
Sick.
I was like, oh shit! Like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, this is punk rock. This is what you need.
Wow.
And I listened to it, and I guess it was like 7th grade. And I was like, oh my God. And he was singing about real things, some of which I didn't understand because of his accent, Johnny Rodden's accent. But I could tell they were pissed, and they didn't sound like everyone else. And I was like, this speaks to me. Yeah. And from there, I just started trying to figure out what in the fuck this punk rock shit was.
Yeah. I feel like Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks, was the first one for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
The beginning of it all.
Yeah. And
damn.
And I because there's no internet then, you know, like I thought punk rock only came from England.
Okay.
Right? And I was like, and I started learning about it. So I'm like, you know, the Sex Pistols, the Damned, Slaughter and the Dogs, all that. I was like, punk rock is an English thing. You know, I didn't know about
Clash and shit.
American hardcore and stuff.
Yeah.
But then, of course, skateboarding you know, I get this. I'm skateboarding with this kid at Wrightsville Beach, and he's like, "You need to check out like Circle Jerks, Black Flag, stuff like that."
Yeah.
You know, and then I got Thrasher Skate Rock Volume
Hell yeah.
3, Wild Riders of Boards, and it had Septic Death, The Accused,
Aggression,
COC.
maybe.
They weren't on that, on that
Okay.
particular one, but it was like the really aggressive crossover kind of stuff, and I was like, oh. Gangrene, and I was like, oh, this is wild. And then from there, it just, you know, I started finding out more and more and more, you know.
Yeah.
Like I found out about the Cro-Mags. This is a pretty good story.
Let's hear it.
Do you remember the show Donahue?
Yeah.
Phil Donahue.
Of course.
Right? So, so I was, like I said, I live in this little tiny town.
Yeah.
There's no.
How many people are there?
Oh, God.
A couple thousand?
Oh, you know, maybe like 10, like 8, 9, 10,000.
Okay.
It's less now because the paper mills died and it's like completely,
Okay.
like it's dead. Like
Okay.
it's gotten really rough there from what I understand. I go there sometimes to see my grandma, but like I was watching Donahue, right? And like
Those guys were on there, right? Jimmy G, all those dudes, right?
I see these punk rock kids on this stage, and it's like punk rock kids and their parents, right?
Yes.
From New York. It's all New York hardcore.
Yeah.
You know, people we know, a lot of them, but
Yeah,
didn't
no,
know at the time.
Of course.
But it's like, some of the parents were like, I don't understand what's wrong with my kid. She's wearing eye makeup and you know, fish hook in her lip,
safety pins and shit.
Yeah, you know. And then some of the other parents were like, it's cool. They're just like, you know, expressing themselves. And Donahue was like, I don't really understand this, but and then like he takes questions from the audience. And I don't know if you've ever seen this, but he goes down there and I see this little bald dude and then another guy with like a crew cut. And I think the guy with the crew cut said something, which of course is John Joseph.
Yeah.
You know, Donahue, I'm looking, we're pretty good. It's not that bad. And then all of a sudden Harley grabs the mic and he's like, by the way, I'm the bass player in a band called the Cro-Mags. We have a new record coming out, Age of Quarrel. It's just trying to get this shit in there. And
wow.
Donahue's like, what the fuck? Trying to pull his microwave in. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to look them up.
Holy shit.
Know?
I do remember that.
And then and somehow from there, I like, probably when I was in a record store in Norfolk or whatever, the one big city, a big city, an hour away, an hour away, I like found Age of Quarrel.
Damn.
You know, but
That's
that was
a game changer, man.
Yeah, and then eventually I found like magazines, maybe like Maximum Rock and Roll and Flipside.
Flipside,
stuff,
yeah.
You know, and that opened up a whole other thing to where you could get, you know, mail order records and find out about bands.
And wait like 6 weeks to get something in the mail.
Yeah.
Which was fine. But,
absolutely.
But kids can't wait more than 10 minutes to get. It's crazy how it is now. You had to wait.
Yeah.
Pen pals and writing people.
Oh, yeah.
Sending cassettes, all that.
So it was really
living
in this sort of backwoods place. It was sort of like a patchwork process of kind of figuring out what this stuff was because there was no punk rock scene where I lived. None. And
there was nobody really like-minded like you in your town that you had met yet.
No.
Except for the guy that gave you the Sex Pistols tape.
Well, he was from Virginia Beach.
Ah, shit, yeah.
So like I was alone, and then I influenced my younger brothers.
There you go.
And then, you know.
That was your little crew right there with your brothers.
Yeah, I mean, as much as they can be, your little brother, you know.
And then what about your first show? Like, where'd you have to travel to go see a live band?
Well, the first, like, you mean like a punk rock show or
whatever, live music? Yeah, just seeing live music for you.
I think the first concert I went to was with this guy Tom Ayers, who lived in this little town with me. He was a pretty cool guy. He was like a burnout metalhead dude. You know? Like the burnout metalheads were the only ones who weren't like shitty to me.
Okay.
You know? But I didn't understand their music at the time, you know?
Yeah.
Which is ironic because I'm in a metal band now. But like, but this guy Tom Ayers is like, my mom's carrying me to see ZZ Top. And I'm like, awesome. So let's go. So we went to this place, Hampton Coliseum.
Okay.
And saw ZZ Top, and I think it was the Eliminator tour, and they, you know, had chicks on stage and special effects, and there were big biker dudes like smoking weed and like the pit. And I'd never been around this shit before. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Damn.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, however many years later, I played that same venue.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Holy
Slipknot. We were on tour with Slipknot, sold out. So
wow.
main support for Slipknot. So it was like kind of heavy. It was
That's
kind of heavy. I was
amazing,
like,
bro.
this is the first place I ever saw a show. But then to see real shows, also in the 11th grade, I got accepted to the Governor's Magnet School of the Arts. Right.
Damn.
So the last 2 years of my high school, half the day I went to regular school. Then the other half I went to art school. And art school was like, we called the teachers by the first name.
Wow.
There was no role taking. If you came to class, cool. If not, it's basically a bunch of people like me crammed into a college campus because it was on ODU campus.
Yeah.
So I met all these people who thought like me, who wouldn't judge me.
It's cool.
And they were from that area, and they started telling me about shows. So to get to a show, it was at least an hour and a half drive for me.
Okay.
So, and then starting, in like 10th grade or whatever. But then by my senior year, we lived in like Chesapeake. So it was like 40 minutes to Virginia Beach, 20, 30 minutes. And
is that by Annapolis, Chesapeake?
Huh?
Is that by Annapolis?
No, Chesapeake Bay is the name of a bay.
No, yeah. Town.
Chesapeake is down near the bottom of Virginia.
Okay.
You're thinking up
Okay.
Maryland.
Okay.
But my, like, starting the summer of like 11th grade and then 12th grade in Virginia Beach and Norfolk is when I really started to go see a lot of shows.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of really good bands. A lot. I saw, COC. I saw fucking Agent Orange. I saw Circle Jerks with 7 Seconds opening up. I saw Bad Brains, Leeway, Corrosion of Conformity.
That's a sick tour. I remember that tour. Yeah.
That's the best show I've ever seen.
Damn.
And
It's a sick bill.
And I saw the Vandals with Agnostic Front.
Wow.
And that was the first time I ever met Freddy Madball, even though he doesn't remember it.
Oh, he was on tour with him then. Yeah.
He was a child.
Wow.
That was the scariest show I'd ever been to at that time. Played at this place called the Atlantic Beach Club, which is an old theater.
A lot of skins come out back then.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And so I pull up to this gig because I wanted to go see the Vandals. And I love the Vandals, still do to this day.
Yeah, great band.
And I had never really listened to Agnostic Front, but I knew they were like a skinhead band. And I pull up, and then there's all these skinheads from all over the East Coast there.
DC, Baltimore, all that
Yes.
shit, I'm sure. Yeah.
Lots of boots and braces.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. And I'm like this skinny punk rock kid with a mohawk, And
Yeah.
I see this one little fucking kid, full on boots and braces, Doc Martens, shaved head, like little button-up shirt or whatever, and he's like standing by a van by where they load in, and I was like, this fucking kid that's a full fucking skinhead. He's like
9 years old.
Yeah, and I walk over to him. I was like 16, 17 at the time, and I'm like, hey dude, hey little man. He looks at me, I'm like, what? He's like, what? I'm like, hey man, can I ask how old you are? And he looks at me and goes, 11, what fucking difference does it make?
Damn.
And then he went into the club, and then I saw him on stage later.
Holy shit.
Because it was, he sang a song with Roger.
Yeah.
And
holy shit.
that was Freddy.
Damn. What difference does it make?
What fucking 11, what fucking difference does it make?
Like,
I was
oh,
like,
shit.
cool little dude. Like,
damn. Then you saw him on stage, like, okay, it makes sense. Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
Holy shit. That's a great fucking show. I remember used to go to shows at Cedar Crest. Ramp.
Yeah, I never saw a show at that
Some
ramp.
Fugazi there, yeah. Skated that ramp too. The ramp was scary.
Yes, Steel, right?
Yeah. I used to skate Mount Trashmore too. I've been there a couple times.
Many times. Yeah,
Great fucking ramp.
All the pro-ams there, you'd have to pour Coke down it in the morning.
Yeah, it was
to make
slippery.
Sure it was sticky because it's a fiberglass. If
Yeah.
you fell, you get all that shit in you.
I do remember that. Were you a street skater or ramp skater?
Mostly street.
Okay.
Did
you have a favorite trick or anything?
Backside ollie wall ride.
Sick.
Which is why I have a torn meniscus because
damn,
I keep doing them.
Are you still skating?
Not as hard as I was. I tore my meniscus like 2 years ago.
Okay.
On tour doing those in Canada.
Oh shit.
My front foot stayed on the board and my back foot didn't. So it's like, and then
damn.
I heard this pop, and we were in Canada touring with Slayer, And then I was like, oh my God,
Holy
it fucking hurt like shit. So now I'm supposed to get I got an MRI. I'm supposed to get a operation on it, but I just haven't had time.
Yeah. Damn. All right, so let's go back to school. So when you graduated, what was like your goals? Like what
was my goal?
What did you want to do? Just to get out and just fucking live?
I wanted to leave. So I went to Richmond, Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Because I got accepted into this college, VCU, right? Because it was a big art school, right?
Yeah.
And I knew I'd get accepted to there. But really, I had no interest in any sort of doing college. I just wanted to go to Richmond because I knew they had a lot more shows there and there was a strong arts community.
Okay.
So my academic record reflects that fact.
Okay. Okay.
So I wasted a lot of time.
Damn.
And money. It's a little bit of my dad's money. Sorry, Dad. You know, he paid, blew some money on me going to college, and then I wound up having to pay some stuff off too. But pretending to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, just kind of fucking around, going to shows, doing drugs.
Partying, just living it up.
Yeah.
Was Twisters around then? Remember Twisters?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That was the first place I ever saw a show in Richmond.
Great fucking venue, man. Wow. With some great shows there.
Yeah. The first show I saw was not good.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't bad, but it was my first week I lived there. I was sitting in a Subway sandwich with these other kids who had moved into the same dorm as me.
Okay.
Right? And we're sitting there, and all of a sudden this cop walks up to us, and I'm like, fuck.
Damn.
I've already moved. I just moved here. I already am getting hassled because I, had issues with police over the years.
Yeah.
And this cop looks at us. He goes, hey, would you like some free tickets to a show? And we're like, sure. And he's like, hands them to it. And I look at it, and it was a flock of seagulls.
Holy shit. At Twisters?
Yes, on a Monday. So we went. So
Damn.
me and these other 18-year-old kids went down the street and went and saw a flock of seagulls.
Did you have heard of them before? Obviously, right?
Of course, they were all over the radio.
That's crazy. You're playing Twisters. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Was it a good show?
I guess it was about half full or whatever. And this girl who went with us, she got on stage and sang "I Ran" with them. Of course, I ran. They had the big hair and everything.
Holy shit! So that's your first show there. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're just going to school. You're not working, not doing any music at that time, right?
I had a high school band that never got out of the garage. My buddy Alex, who I just saw in New Orleans a couple of weeks ago. Shout out, Alex. We're gonna get
up, Alex?
We're gonna get Black Monday back together.
It's called Black Monday.
I think it was Black Monday or Black Friday. I think it's whichever one where the stock market crashed.
And what type of music was that?
It was like really bad, like kind of blues punk rock with me singing about drinking and stuff, which I didn't really know that much about then.
Yeah.
We just jammed in his garage. There's a cassette tape somewhere. He told me, I'm like, you gotta get it. I need to hear 16-year-old me.
So that could possibly come out someday.
Yeah, I hope so.
Wow.
Just so people can laugh at me.
So you're just out there living, partying,
and not doing school too much. And
did you party before that?
No, I
new to you.
I didn't really do drugs. I smoked a little weed in high school. It wasn't until I went to college that I started doing other things.
Yeah.
And I drank a little bit in high school, my senior year, but it wasn't until I went to college that I really started drinking. I party on the weekends sometimes at home.
Yeah.
But in college is when I was like, okay. That's when I started smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee.
Damn.
Just doing everything.
Yeah. I'm a grown up now, kind of.
I'm away from home. I don't have to even pretend to be, sober or clean or shaven or anything. I'm just gonna fully fall to pieces. Fuck it.
Were your parents psyched you going to that college and stuff?
No.
Okay.
No.
They wanted something else for you.
They would have preferred me going to a more prestigious school. But at the time, that school was one of the best art schools.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And even though, I changed my degree from the arts degree to English literature, which I never finished, none of that would have helped me with what I do.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the English a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm an author, but But
songwriter, all that.
Yeah, I do well if I learn one-on-one from someone,
Mm-hmm.
or if I teach myself.
Yeah.
You know.
So what happens after college? Are you just working jobs?
Yeah, I was kind of where I started working jobs, you know, in the restaurant business.
Yeah, you've been a cook or something?
Yeah, for many, many years.
Yeah.
So
And construction too?
Yeah, I did. I was a roofer.
That's a gnarly job too, man.
Yes. Yeah, I was a roofer for like 3 or 4 years. A few of those with my guitar player, Mark, who is a much better roofer than me, until on our first tour, I fell off a roof drunk and broke my arm partying. So that was the end of my roofing career. Then it was back to washing.
Holy shit!
Dishes.
Were you a good cook too? Did you go to culinary school?
No.
Wow.
No, I'm still a good cook.
Wow.
I kick ass.
I'm jealous. I'm the worst cook. That's the only thing I lack in my life.
That's tough for you being a vegan.
I know. I suck.
Yeah.
I'm so bad, dude. And that's more I told him, like, we were married 25 years, and so only thing she doesn't like about me that I never stepped it up and try to cook. I'm trying now later in life, but like I have no confidence in cooking.
The ladies like it.
I know,
they
man.
love it when you cook for them, bro.
I know. I know.
They do.
So is your first band Halo of Locusts?
No. So my first band in Richmond was a band called Stink Hogan.
What does that mean?
It's just anything bad. Like I didn't know what it meant.
Stink Hogan?
When I joined the band.
I think of Hogan's Heroes on the wall.
Yeah, Stink Hogan. And my friend Abe, who was a guitar player, he's like, I was like, what does Stink Hogan mean? He's like, it could be anything bad, like, you know, like a piece of dog shit on your living room floor or whatever. And for some reason, we changed our name to Furious George.
Wow.
Now there's another Furious George that's like a sort of like punk band from Florida, I think, but they came after us.
Okay.
So
You're the originals.
We were the OGs. Jorge Furioso. Right? So like the band was like it was not a good band because all 4 of us wanted to be in a different band.
Okay.
Like our drummer kind of wanted to be in the Smashing Pumpkins.
Gotcha.
Our bass player wanted to be like Charles Mingus, you know, playing jazz because he was like an actual musician.
Okay.
Our guitar player sort of wanted to be Jimi Hendrix, and I wanted to be in like the Bad Brains, you know. So it was this weird mix of just like metal, punk, funk, alternative. It was just a train wreck. Okay. Dude. It was not good.
Everybody's playing their own thing, their own kind of style. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was musically complex, I suppose, but that's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
So then when that band, I was dating this girl, I remember, this girl, Tara, and she came and saw us. And then we played with some other band. And afterwards, she just looked at me. She goes, honey, you need to get a better band. And I was like, you're right. I do. She put it to me, dude.
Yeah.
But we kind of quit because I was like, oh, we aren't doing that good. No offense to those guys.
Yeah.
But then our guitar player, right?
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I got a new band. I want you to join. And I'm like, oh, bro, like our last band wasn't that good.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, come on, dude, you'd be a great singer for this new band, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whatever, dude. So I leave because I'd started riding freight trains for a while.
Wow.
I rode from Richmond to California and back.
By yourself?
With a girl or a friend.
Nice.
So I did that for a couple of years before it became totally trendy because my grandfather did it during the Depression.
Okay.
Right? I knew that. He would ride from Tennessee to Texas getting work because that's what people did during the Depression.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was always like, I want to hop a freight train. So me and my buddy decided to do it one time. We learned how to do it.
Is it sketchy doing that?
Oh, yes. So until you know what you're doing. And it's very easy to get killed. So
and to get caught too or no?
It depends.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend it for anyone, you know. But now it's kind of like this weird clicky thing.
So people do that now? It's a thing now?
Yeah, it's like in the crusty punk world.
Okay.
You know? I think a lot of them talk more about it than they actually ride.
Are you jumping on it when it's moving or just wait till it stops?
It's both. It's way better to get on them when they're stopped. But
of course.
If it's moving, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know how to judge it. You have to like be aware at all times, you know, because you can get sucked under the train and that's it.
So you're staying on the whole time across country. You don't get off and check out. Does it stop for a little while? So
no,
you jump out
can
and
get
see
off.
Towns and come back on?
Yeah, you can get off. The longest ride is from Minneapolis, from the Fridley Yard it has one stop in Havre, Montana for about half an hour. And this is the High Line. It goes from Minneapolis to Montana for 30 minutes, where you get off and run out of the yard and go to the gas station to get a coffee or whatever. That's a 24-hour ride. And then from Havre, Montana to either Spokane or Seattle, depending on where it's going to drop off, that's another 24-hour ride. So basically it's 48 hours on this freight train that goes through the top of the country, and it's an amazing ride.
Okay.
Amazing. You go places a lot of times where there's no power lines, no nothing.
Yeah.
So you're just like, it's what the country looked like back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, it's in its natural state, except for the railroad. So it's really cool.
That sounds amazing, actually.
It was really cool, man. And me and my buddy Tyler, who I still talk to, spent a couple of summers doing that. And it was, it was really cool. And I was going to the Bay Area because I wanted to go to Gilman. That was my end goal, because I read about it at in Maxim Rock and Roll. So I made it to Gilman.
Legendary.
Times, and I saw some of Rancid's first shows. And,
sick.
I saw the crust punk band Dirt, and I saw a bunch of cool bands out there.
That's awesome, man.
Just squatting,
Yeah.
In fact, that's where I met the guy who put out our first record, was squatting in California. But anyway.
But are you meeting people that do the same thing too? There's different cliques of people that come?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. That's so cool.
I made it back home in the late summer of 1995. And my guitar player, Abe, I got off a freight train with my chick on the outskirts of Richmond. Mm-hmm. And my old guitar player, Abe, from the terrible band, who wanted me to join his new band, he's the only person I knew with a car. And I was way out in the suburbs of Richmond where the train stopped.
Gotcha.
So I went to a payphone and I called him. I said, Abe, I'm back in town. Can you come pick me and my chick up? Called him from a payphone. He's like, yes. And my band is playing a party tonight. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, cool. We'll go.
You got to go now. He's giving you a ride.
Now. He's giving me a ride. And I was like, well, fuck it. There'll be free beer.
Fuck it.
So we get back to Richmond, and I wind up going to this party. And I walk in. I hear this music from outside. It starts sounding pretty good. And then I walk in, and I see, and it's three dudes. And it's my buddy Abe, and this guy Chris on drums, and this guy John on bass. And they were playing this ripping, complex, heavy, sort of grind crust math, weird stuff. And I was like, that band's awesome. And I looked at my chick I was with at the time. I'm like, that's the band I'm going to sing for. She's like, whatever, Randy, because they were really good.
Yeah.
And the Police showed up and they didn't stop playing. I was like, okay, that's punk rock. I like that.
Yeah.
And so Abe gave me a cassette tape of one of their songs. I wrote lyrics for it and then showed up to practice. A week later, sang that one song. And that's late summer, early fall 1995. And then that was Burn the Priest.
Burn the Priest. I was going to say that. Yeah.
And then
wow.
I've been in the band ever since.
Had you written lyrics before?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
For the other bands,
not good ones.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's fucking. So it's 95.
Yeah, and they formed in the winter of 94, and they were an instrumental band for a while. They wanted a singer, but they wanted a hot chick because they figured girls would come to the show.
Yeah.
Right, but they got me instead.
You're just as good.
I don't know about that.
Holy shit, that's fucking crazy, man. So that's the beginning. That's it right there, man.
Yeah.
And you were out of school then, or just working at, what were you doing then?
At that time I was working in restaurants.
Yeah, that's right.
I was working in a restaurant in Richmond. A friend of mine actually owned probably a distant cousin, we found out years later.
Wow.
But he was also an old punk rock musician guy. He opened, he was in New York City. He opened the Hard Rock in New York, and he was involved in the scene up there. He had a couple of 7-inches.
Yeah.
And he was, a New York guy playing punk rock.
Yeah.
But he lived in Richmond, so he was cool as long as I was like, dude, I'm going to leave to go tour or hop freight trains or whatever. As long as I gave him 2 weeks notice when I came back, he'd put me back on the schedule.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Shout out James Talley. I love you.
Damn.
For always giving me a job.
I'll say you come back to it. So Burn the Priest. So how long you in that for before the name changes and it becomes official and put a record out and stuff like that?
We put out a record We were Burn the Priest until late 1999, I think. And we put out a record, an album. We put out 2 7-inches. Nobody wanted. We developed our fan base in Philly, right? First.
Philly, okay.
Yeah, because nobody gave a fuck about us in Richmond for a while.
Okay.
And then this guy I had met, my friend Mikey Brosnan, who was kind of a well-known dude in the Philly punk rock scene. I met him out squatting in California.
Gotcha.
And we traveled back together. And he would book us shows in this warehouse called Stalag 13 up
like
in,
the band.
up in Philly. In West Philly, there was a big warehouse scene there. And we were always playing with like punk rock bands, crust punk bands up there. And we started developing a following.
Cool.
And we were playing, like Baltimore, Philly, sometimes New York, New Jersey and stuff, and starting to develop a little regional following. And some record labels were looking at us, but no one wanted to sign us because they thought we were going to break up. Like I know Relapse looked at us because they were like, they're going to break up because we were too wild. We drank all the time and we'd fight on each other on stage and all, I was really self-destructive, crazy, man. They're like, this band, they're great, but they're going to implode. Yeah. So my friend Mikey, who booked us these shows, who I met squatting, we were both homeless in California, is like, I'll start a record label and put out a record for you. And I'm like, okay.
It's amazing.
So he took his what little money he had, and he put out our first 7-inch, which was a split with this band from Philly called Zed. And then this guy Rich from Brutal Truth, he had a record. Brutal Truth, he had a record label called Deaf American. He put out our second 7-inch, which was a split with a band from California called Agents of Satan, like a grindcore band. And then my friend Mikey, so we got these 2 7-inches out. We're developed kind of a regional following still. And my friend Mikey is just like, nobody's still wanting to put out a record. He's like, fuck it. So he maxed out his credit card and put us in the studio with this guy, Steve Austin, who was in Today Is a Day, produced the Burn the Priest record. And then we had that record, and then labels started kind of
coming around
eventually. And in like 99 or something, Abe, the guy who got me in the band originally, he left to his heart wasn't in it anymore, and he kind of was pursuing his photography career. So our original guitar player, Mark, had moved back from Chicago to join the band. And then our old drummer, Chris, his brother, Willie, he put him in the band. He's still in the band now. So these record labels are like wanting to sign us, but we were tired of our name. Where particularly some
You think it was hurting you, the name?
I think it was more just like we were being misconstrued as like a satanic band, or
I would get that,
like a black metal band or something. But I don't sing about any of that shit.
It was judging by the name and how crazy you guys were. Probably.
I come from the punk rock world, and I don't sing about Satan. It's stupid. Because he doesn't exist, right? So like, let's face it. And so I like singing about reality. And people are like, I guess we had a little pushback because of the name Burn the Priest, but not that much. I think it was more like it just kind of bothered us internally. Okay. So this label Prosthetic came to us. We had offers from other bigger labels, but this was a smaller label who we knew we would be their priority.
Yeah. Did your dad know the name of your band at that time?
Yeah, he knew the name.
What did he thought about it?
I know we didn't really talk about
it.
Okay. I told you my dad was really square. Like when we started making shows, he's like, the first thing he asked me about the band after we'd been around for a while, he goes, he's like, I mean, we're playing like house parties and squats and doing some club dates, but he's like, are you getting paid to do this? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I certainly hope you're paying your taxes. And I was like, oh shit, are you out of your fucking mind, dude? Like we're trying to get spaghetti money, Did
he come see you guys play?
No, we did once. That did not go well.
Okay.
My mom has seen us several times, and she's a bit more forgiving. My father begrudgingly kind of accepts what we do now.
Yeah.
And he knows that it helps people, and he knows that it takes effort, but like it is definitely not his
cup of tea.
His kip. No.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
not at all. So like,
wow.
I don't know. So like labels started calling, and then like this one label, Prosthetic, wanted us, and we're like, okay, we'll sign you, but we're changing the band name. They're like, no, you know, and my guitar player, Mark, he's the one who named the band Burn the Priest.
Okay.
And he's the one who really wanted to change it to Lamb of God. And he's kind of a smart guy. He's like, you know, I don't want to be 50 in a band called Burn the Priest, and we don't sing about any of this stuff, you know. So we said, look, you can sign us, and we're changing the name. They're like, don't do that. And we're like, okay, you don't sign us then. They're like, okay. You know.
Wow. So that was it for that, or no?
That was it. We changed the band name. They signed us, and
wow.
You know.
And that's the beginning of it all, right?
Well, I mean, at that point we were a band already.
Yeah.
5 years. So then we did another 4 years on Prosthetic Records. Did put out New American Gospel As the Palaces Burn on independent labels, and on that independent label, and they did well. We gained more and more sort of attention, but we were still working day jobs.
Did you feel a difference when changing the name of the band?
Not really, because it was just kind of, I don't know. It was just kind of what it was.
Yeah.
We weren't that. I mean, we could go and play CBGBs.
Yeah.
Right. And like, which was like,
that's amazing, dude.
It was the highlight of my life at one point. The first time we played CBGBs.
Of course.
You know, I didn't.
That's amazing.
It was like, okay, this is it.
Were you nervous playing there?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was pumped. We played
for sure.
first. This is when we
played first.
This is when we were Burn the Priest.
Okay.
My friend Ralphie Boy from the
I know Ralphie Boy. Yeah. What up, Ralphie Boy? Yeah.
You know Ralphie, of course.
Yeah.
Ralphie Boy booked us on this show called the Mad Grinders Ball. It was like this long ass matinee thing.
Damn.
And we were first of like 14 bands or something.
Wow.
You know? And we showed up, and I was like, I got there, I stepped in there, and I smelled all the stale beer and the filth, and
it smells great though.
Yeah, and I just like I was standing there in it. I was like, we are in CBGB's.
Fucking made it. We made it.
That was the biggest I'd ever dared to dream.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
You know, I stood on that stage and I was like, okay, I'm here. Okay, this is it. I'm done. You know, like if it's over now, I'm in like, you know, pretty much the birthplace of punk rock. This is it. This is ground
Ramones,
zero.
Everybody, yeah.
You know, and like we played the show, and I was like, oh my god. You know?
Yeah.
And then like, you know, 7-8 months later, we came back and we're headlining. And selling it out ourselves.
Holy fuck! When I look at the list of like all your albums, I've been learning this lately with this podcast, is that my band's been together 26 years and we only have 6 albums.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at all the albums that other bands put on, I'm like, damn, we're fucking lazy, man. Holy fuck.
I'm not quite sure. Like, I think, and I'm having issues, like, there's a push now for bands to put out music too quickly.
Like every year. Yeah.
Yes, and that's horrible.
Okay.
That's horrible, because your last record, there's no room for you to sit back and reflect on what you've done, dude.
Okay.
There's no room for you to kind of like grow artistically. It's you're
be inspired by other things.
Yes, you're informed too much by your last record, but it's all about, you know, I saw something that fucking dickhead CEO of Spotify said like a few months ago. It's like, it's not just good enough for bands to put out records every 3 or 4 years now. The bands that are going to do well are ones that are constantly putting out content. Like, and it's like, dude, it's like,
it's just too much.
What happened to art? What happened to like the meaning of this?
Creative, yeah.
And now it's a product, and yes,
it's a machine. Like
now
record tour.
It's how we make our living. Yes. But it's like if I wanted to be in the machine, I go get a fucking office job.
Yeah,
you know?
so true.
So fuck off.
Yeah.
Like it's okay like to take breaks.
Yeah.
That being said, how long have you been a band?
26 years.
Yeah, you guys need to do another record.
So that's 6. Yes, yeah. And we have like we have this luck thing with we have a 7-year gap in between these. It's worked for us the last 3 records.
Fuck, great.
Yeah.
If you're able to pay the bills and do what you do, man.
Yeah.
Don't fucking fuck up what's broken.
So what was the moment with Lamb of God where you realized this is going to be a career band? Was it any of these?
I remember it very well. It was before we signed to a major, all right? We signed to Sony Epic in like late 2003. And we didn't really have management at the time. So management companies were paying attention because major labels were paying attention to us. And
Yeah,
like,
sure.
They're like, oh, we need to check this out.
Yeah.
So Slayer's manager wanted to manage us, Rick Sales. And he, as kind of an incentive, is like, I'll put you on 2 shows with Slayer in London.
Damn.
Like, we'd never been out of the country. I think maybe Canada, but that doesn't count, right?
Okay.
You know? We had never been overseas.
We love Canada, though.
Yes, yeah, of course, but it doesn't count as far as like
I know what you're saying.
I'm leaving.
I know.
We're still on North America.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Canada. Fuck yeah, we do.
Go to Europe and play with Slayer. Fuck.
Yeah, well, so it's like I'll put you on 2 shows in London. Just you and Slayer.
Dude.
So we fly to London. We played the London Astoria. You ever go to that gig?
I've been there before, not playing, but I've been to a show.
It's
yeah.
no longer there. So,
Okay.
but it was a great gig. We later came and headlined it. But like,
fuck.
so like,
Well, you got to be nervous for that. You probably love Slayer, and you're going to play.
well,
with them.
I was pumped, but we get there
Uh-oh.
and Slayer on both nights, was 2 nights in a row, sold out both nights, just us. When we were playing, people actually knew our music, and we'd never been to England before.
Wow.
And I was like, what the fuck, dude? What
Sick.
the fuck? Because, I'd never been there before. It's a fucking weird enough experience as it is.
Yeah.
And then I remember looking and seeing Kerry King over on the side of the stage with a shot of Jägermeister. He had poured shots for her in, and he was like, gave me a shot of Jägermeister on the stage.
Damn.
And I was like, I'm in England playing with Slayer. Main sport. Kerry King just gave me a drink. We're getting paid for this.
It's amazing.
That
Man.
like this actually I might be able to pay my bills.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, we were still working.
Yeah, you're working jobs. Mm-hmm.
So when we finally signed with a major label, which was something that made me super nervous, coming from our world,
Totally.
it's a bad word.
Totally.
Like they're going to try and tell you what to do, which they never have to their credit, because they needed us more than we need them.
Mm-hmm.
We make money for them. But I was super nervous. But when we signed, and I think I got my first sort of check, it was like the advance was like $30,000 or whatever signing, and that's the most money I'd ever seen in my life. Like 30, I think it was 30 or 40 grand.
It's a lot, man. Yeah.
I photocopied that check and put it on
Damn.
the refrigerator. I was like, it had my name on it. You know?
Wow.
I was like, I had to get a bank account.
Yeah, it'd be official. Be an adult.
I didn't have a bank account until
Be on the
like
books.
2003. Yeah.
Wow.
I always, if I got a check, I went to the check cashing place.
Yeah.
I don't trust the man,
I respect
was
that.
in the system. I work under the counter.
But that's a serious check. Yeah, damn.
Yeah, so
I can't go to the check cashing place. No.
Yeah, so it was just like, no, it can't. So I was just like, fuck. And that was really scary, getting a bank account. And then we had to decide, okay, are we going to quit our day jobs and give this 100%?
Yeah.
Because we have to at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was really terrifying for me. Because I've worked since I was like 14 years old.
What year would that be? 2003?
2003, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And that's the last time you worked a real job, pretty much?
Yeah. Every now and then I would go back to the restaurant and cook just for fun.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. Damn. And then so after that, he started. So the show with Slayer was great, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Good crowd, good reaction. All that.
Yeah.
They knew the words.
Yeah.
Because I heard opening for Slayer is super fucking hard.
We've never had a problem.
Okay.
And we learned that from opening up for Guar.
Mm.
Guar is from our town, right?
Yeah.
And they're like big brothers to us. So they took us out on our first tour as Lamb of God.
Okay.
Our first real tour.
That's amazing.
We were in a van. They're in a tour bus, of course.
Yeah.
But they're like, come on, little dudes. And like, they basically taught us how to tour. I didn't know what a tour manager was. I didn't know what a monitor guy was. I didn't know what anything was.
Yeah.
And like those guys taught
Took you
us.
under the wing, yeah.
Yeah. But if you fuck around, like Guar fans, if you give them half a chance, they will just Guar you off the stage. Guar, Guar, Guar. Just like Slayer.
Okay.
And because they're there to see Guar.
Yeah.
Like Slayer fans are there to see Slayer. So we got on stage. We did not leave hardly any space in between songs.
Banging them out.
Just super aggressive. Go out, hit as hard as you can, connect, and leave.
It's awesome.
That's what we learned.
Yeah.
And we've never had a problem opening for any band.
That's amazing. Let's keep it going. Say a couple of things, keep it moving, right?
Yeah.
Just play your songs. Let the music speak for itself.
Yeah, which I don't, and I just don't, I was never really into talking to the audience anyway.
Okay.
You know?
That's a super hardcore thing. It's like for us, that's for us growing up, it's like, this next song's about my friend. Oh, but that's just really like, I think it's more of a hardcore, like, I don't know.
It's also it's
But
more like
this next
like
song's about
also more I mean I would say that, but I'm talking about more like interacting with the audience, like
yeah.
Are you guys feeling all right tonight? Like that kind
Let's
of shit.
hear it. Yeah.
And
some people can do that and kill it.
I had to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Because after a certain point you reach when you're playing to audiences, really big audiences, like you have to make them. You have to talk to them.
Yeah. Were you nervous to talk to them or shy? Or
I had to learn.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to do it. I just didn't want to do it. I was like, I don't fucking care. I never thought we would be playing an arena. I thought I was happy we were playing CBGBs. I didn't have to like ask them how they were doing. I would know if they were like throwing a bottle at me or whatever.
Right in front,
and
they're right in front of you too.
So it's like there's that immediacy, you know. And then when you play like big shit, it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we started doing that and like
you're just off and running, touring, albums, everything.
Yes, and then when we quit our day jobs, and when I wasn't touring, I had already been drinking, you know, and partying and stuff. But
since college.
Yeah.
You never really stopped.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Fucking college.
So I mean, I'd started, I guess, in high school, but it really
kicked off and you were out on your own.
Yeah. So I didn't. When we quit our day jobs, I no longer really, unless we're in the studio or getting ready to walk on stage, neither of which sometimes made a difference. I had to be sober. You know, I had to be sober enough to do my job.
Yeah.
But sometimes I wasn't. So,
okay.
When I'm sitting at home, all of a sudden I have money for the first time in my life. I don't have to go work at the restaurant. I don't have to go get on the roof. I'm sitting there. I got money. What am I going to do? I'm going to drink.
Yeah.
So that when we signed to a major, we're able to quit our day jobs. That's when the drinking really started progressing hard.
So it's drinking by yourself, drinking at home, just chilling.
Oh, yes.
Wow. Did you have, wow. So that became an issue.
Oh,
because then you go back on tour and you're used to doing that every day anyways, but you're trying to focus and be professional as well, have a career, go on stage sober, try to, right? All that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, there was like being fucked up and crazy and unpredictable worked for us. My crazy, fucked up, unpredictable, like dangerous kind of, like it worked for us to a degree, because like I grew up like looking at bands like, you know, Black Flag, like where sometimes it was threatening,
crazy, scary.
You know,
yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah,
there's an element of danger to that.
I love that.
So, like, not everything is safe.
Yeah,
you know, this is
especially the punk and hardcore back then too.
Yes,
different level.
It was totally different. So, like I wanted to bring that into my job because I respect it, you know, because it's real, and like I'm not here to really entertain you and like do a song and dance.
Yeah. And that was kind of your attraction to punk too. Even going to see all the skinheads outside Gnostic Front, it was scary, but it's so exciting to be there too. You know what I mean?
I got fucking punched in the eye that night. That didn't stop me from going back to shows.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I got fucking socked hard by a skinhead just because he fucking felt like it that night.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Some
other still came back.
Yeah, fuck it, you know. But that's
the element. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Seabees was like that too. Seabees was like that too. Scary, man.
Edge.
Yeah.
Like Richmond had that whole edge for a long time. We were like number one murder per capita at times. It was dark. It's much nicer now.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
So like that's like it's attractive.
Energy. Yeah.
So like being fucked up kind of like, for me, made me wildly unpredictable. And sometimes that worked for us.
Yeah.
You know? And people noticed that. And they're like, whoa, this dude is fucking out of his mind, you know? And they're like, that's a good front man. But then after a while, you just become a sloppy mess.
Yeah.
You know?
You can't control. Yeah, you can't not Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I couldn't control my drinking.
Even if you guys
at
were
all.
getting bigger and bigger and bigger shows and everything,
Yes. Yeah.
you would get more fucked up, maybe.
Yeah. At the end, I had learned how to control it so that I could be sober on stage most of the time.
Did the band ever sit you down and said, "Yo, man, you got to chill"?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I don't like being told what to do.
I know. And you only got.
If you guys would get off my fucking ass, maybe I wouldn't drink so much. Just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I was a real black sheep in my band for
Mhm.
a long time. You know?
Yeah. So nobody else really drank except for you.
Oh no!
But
A
you
band of alcoholics.
You went the hardest though.
Oh yes. At first I went the hardest.
It was almost like a competition who can go the hardest.
No, I
Okay.
just didn't. That's what I was just like. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it. Let's just put it this way: there's 3 guys in my band now that don't drink at all anymore.
Mhm.
You know, they're sober dudes. So.
Okay.
So it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you sober now?
Oh God, yes.
Sick.
Clean and sober. Nothing stronger than caffeine or these stupid fake cigarettes because I started smoking like an idiot when I was like 18. Don't smoke, kids.
Oh, so you still haven't quit since then? You've been on e-cigarettes after that or something? Did you ever quit smoking ever?
No.
Wow.
My chick tried to I went on to e-cigarettes,
Okay.
which are much less.
Yeah.
But
They're addictive too, huh?
Yes, it's nicotine. I remember my chick tried to make me quit smoking one time. She's like, smoking. I'm like, fine, fuck it. And then within I think it was like a day and a half, she ran to the store and bought me a carton of cigarettes. She's like, smoke, please.
Damn.
Because I was a maniac. I was a nightmare.
Does it relax you?
It's kind of, you have to look at it like it only relaxes you because you're addicted to it.
Okay.
See, if you never do it in the first place, it might give you a little tingly buzz or whatever. But smoking cigarettes is the stupidest fucking thing because you don't get high. And I don't get high at all anymore.
Yeah.
But
It must be so addicting. You've been doing it since you're 18, but you can quit alcohol.
yeah,
That's crazy.
I quit alcohol and every other drug. And I've done every drug there is, except for the ones they've invented since.
So even heroin.
Oh, yes. God,
heroin.
yeah. Loved it.
Wow. Shot it?
No.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay.
The only time I ever used a needle is we were in Thailand and I couldn't find the opiates that I wanted, but this dude got me some tramadol which you can buy from the fucking.
I know what that is.
It's a lightweight narcotic.
Probably lightweight to you, but me before I kill me. Yeah.
You could buy it from the pharmacy there, and it had these little syrettes, and you're like, it's individually wrapped, so you shoot it
right in the ass.
Yeah.
Holy shit! You were doing that while you're in the band too,
dude. God,
Fuck,
yes, bro.
Damn,
Man, dude, and I'm not talking out of school, but my guitar player Mark, I love you, dude. Clean and sober, right now for going on 3 years now.
Okay,
because alcohol was my one true love. Right?
Yeah.
Like if you like cupcakes, right, and then on the top there's icing, and then you throw some sprinkles, but you're gonna love the cupcake the most, right? The sprinkles. Drugs are just the sprinkles.
Okay.
Alcohol was the cupcake.
Gotcha.
So for my guitar player Mark, though, and I'm not talking out of school because he's public about this. The cupcake was opiates,
Okay.
and the sprinkles was alcohol. So
Damn. Okay.
so he got really bad,
That's
worse
brutal.
than I did on the drugs, and I got worse than he did on the alcohol.
Yeah.
And both of us are now totally clean and sober. Dude.
How long are you sober for now?
10.
Wow.
It's May? 10 and a half years now.
That's amazing, man. Congrats. That's
Yeah,
amazing, man.
I
Holy
got sober
shit.
on tour.
Damn, probably almost broke the band up several times. All you guys partying. Had
Oh
to.
yeah. I was a mess. There's many times I'm. Yeah.
or you wanted to quit the band and you were too fucked
Yeah,
up.
I would be unreasonable, but a lot of times they would start fucking with me because I was fucking up, and then if they were fucking with me, I'd get mad, and then
I think they were attacking you and shit.
Yes, and they were they didn't to be we're all learning as we're going,
Yeah.
and they didn't understand what was happening with me any more than I understood what was happening with me,
You think you were just so rebellious because of your upbringing, because your dad was so straight laced and your parents?
You think what?
You were kind of when you were rebelling against being raised, maybe your parents are kind of strict, religious, and you were out on your own, like, fucking, I'm just going to do the opposite of everything they wanted me to be?
I think that's kind of a that's a simplistic view of like I'm a weirdo, dude. Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, even when I was younger, to like fit in, and because you want to belong,
Yeah.
people wouldn't accept me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't so much my parents.
Yeah.
It was the rest of the world.
I got you.
You know, although like
Black sheep from birth.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like, and only when I found like the punk and hardcore scene and like
That was your
different
tribe.
sort of art scenes, like artists, weirdos, dude.
Yeah.
That's my family. They accepted me.
Gotcha.
You know?
You could be yourself finally and be not worry about shit.
Yeah, and nobody's gonna judge you because you don't have the right sneakers. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Damn. Yeah, totally. No, I get it. Fuck, man. I didn't realize how much of a party the whole band was. That's crazy. You guys are still together and now you guys are sober. It's awesome.
yeah, like
It says a lot about your band, your friendship, and your fucking brotherhood as a band.
dude.
too.
We are closer now as a band than we ever have been before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many years? So the band's been together now. Fuck, that's a long time. My band's first show was 1994 to December 30th. So right around the same time we kind of started, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, they started in the winter of '94, and I think they played a few shows without me, and I joined in like late summer, early fall '95. You know, August or September.
And dude, and you've done so many fucking guest appearances too. Like the list of your guest appearances are insane, man. So many projects you've been on.
Yeah.
So many fucking bands. Just to name a few, maybe Body Count, Overkill, Josta. How do they say Gojira?
Gojira.
Yeah, Cannibal Corpse. Everything, man. So many fucking bands, dude. It's a lot of time. Like you've been so many guests, and then even like going on tour with Pigface.
Yeah.
Singing for I Hate God.
Yes.
Fuck, man.
Bad Brains.
You did some singing for Bad Brains?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that. When?
What, you didn't know that?
No, that wasn't in my fucking deep dive. For real, when?
I've done the last 3 shows they've played, bro. But I do the fast stuff. HR does the mid-tempo.
Holy shit, where were those last shows at? Where was that?
So the first show.
That must be a dream, dude.
Dude, they're my favorite band of all time.
Yeah.
And they're, dude, I love and respect each and every one of them.
Yeah.
So our mutual friend, everything good comes from Josta, by the way.
Yeah.
Josta.
Shout out to Josta, man.
Shout out to Jamie Josta. I love you, brother. Really do. Josta introduced me to John Joseph.
Got you.
Who I became friends with.
Yep.
And then
JJ. Yeah, go ahead.
Who love you, dude. So I had a brief radio program on Sirius XM. I was having some legal problems at the time, and Jose, the main dude at Sirius XM, was like, "Do you want a radio program just to help me keep my mind off shit?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So like basically, I got to interview whoever I wanted and just be like a punk rock geek. So I had dudes from Sam Hain and Misfits and COC and Cro-Mags, and I was talking to John Joseph, and he's like, what a fucking guest do you want to get? You know? I want one of the dudes from Bad Brains. He's like, I'll call Daryl for you.
Sick.
So Daryl drove down from Woodstock to New York City, and I met him and told him a story about stealing a Bad Brains record when I was in high school, which I felt terrible about, and I tried to pay him. Right?
Oh, shit, okay.
You know, on air. And I'm like, dude, I stole this record, and I feel terrible. I was a shithead.
From their merch table or something?
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
From where? From where?
From a record store.
Okay.
Which wasn't cool, because it's an independent record store. You know?
Yeah.
But
But you needed that record.
Yes and no, but like,
it's
just, especially stealing from an independent record store, it's just shitty. I was a shitty fucking kid.
Damn it.
What can you say?
Yeah.
You know, so I was trying to make it right.
Say you're sorry, yeah.
I was like, dude, I stole Eye Against Eye when it came out. And I'm like, bro, I don't even know how much it cost them, but can I just give you this money for it now? And Daryl was like, why don't you keep that for your lawyer fund? Because I was having legal problems.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're awesome, you know? So we became friends, and then Daryl had an art show in Brooklyn coming up. He's a painter at the OK Space, which is a gallery run by the Roots.
Okay, oh shit, nice.
Yeah, like Questlove runs it or whatever. And either HR didn't want to do like the fast stuff anymore.
Yep. Reggae only.
Yeah, well, that and like mid-tempo stuff, like Reignition, you know?
Yeah.
It's just not his thing, you know? You've had him on the podcast.
Yeah, I know, yeah, for sure.
He's a special dude.
Slow it down, yeah,
He does what he wants, and he deserves it.
He's the best.
You know? So, like, I guess because I already knew Daryl, and somehow they're like, do you want to do the fast songs? And I'm like, yeah. So we didn't tell anyone we were playing this art gallery opening. And so people showed up at the open. The gallery hold like 75 people, and there's all this equipment. And everybody's like, what's going on?
Damn.
And then there's Daryl's sort of reggae side project played.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the Bad Brains came out, and they played 3 reggae songs in Reignition with HR, I think. Then I came out and did Big Takeover and I think Band in DC.
Fuck. I just got goosebumps. That's crazy.
And then Sid McRae,
mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Sid, the original singer of Bad Brains, came out and sang The Regulator for the first time in over 30 years.
Holy shit. That's
and
amazing, dude.
And it was 7 songs, and it was like blam, 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 blam. And people were like, the place went off, and people were like, what the fuck just happened? And then we disappeared.
Into the night, yeah.
Yeah. So then they're like, yo, we're doing Riot Fest. Do you want to do some songs with us? I'm like, yeah. So I went to Chicago, did Riot Fest with Bad Brains, and then they were like, yo, we're playing this thing called the Growler 6 in San Pedro.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, do you want to do some songs? I'm like, yeah.
Dude, it's like a dream, dude. Yeah.
I do fast shit with them, and like, you know, it's like
it's incredible.
If they're like, will you want to do some songs? I'm like, yeah. I exist to make them happy.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, because they have given me so much.
Yeah, man.
So much in my life. Them and the whole rest of our music scene have given me so much. So like, if they need me, I'm just like, cool, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's humanly possible. I will be there.
It's hard to name a favorite Bad Brains album too.
Yes, it is. For me, it's either the Roar cassette or Eye Against Eye.
Yeah. I have to say the same. I love Eye Against Eye. So I love Quickness too, man.
Yeah, Quickness is great. Old Mackie. Shout out to Mackie.
Dude, Mackie killed that shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Fuck. Okay. Let's keep this moving. This is amazing. Yeah, the Bad Brains. Is that one of your favorite bands? You could say favorite hardcore band of all time?
They're my favorite band, period, of all time.
Okay.
They are my favorite band.
There's no competition.
None.
Okay.
None. And I saw them at the height of their powers. You know?
Back then, yeah.
I saw HR come out on stage, and I was like, oh, dude, it was intense. Intense.
Yeah.
Dude. So intense.
Yeah, there's no other frontman can.
No, I've never seen anyone top him.
Yeah.
Period.
I think one of the first times I heard Lamb of God too is I'm really good friends with Melissa Cross.
Oh, you know Melissa.
And I was on the Screaming and Zen for
That's
DVD.
right.
I think I was on there with you.
Oh, we got it. Yes,
I love Melissa Cross. Yeah, dude.
Dude, I have heard your name so many times over the years.
And that's where I heard yours from that too.
I've heard your names from different people that we know.
Yeah, it's a small world, man.
It's like, and it's crazy.
But yeah, Melissa Cross, dude, the Screaming and Zen, that shit changed my life, dude.
Yeah, I
always lose my voice and stuff. And
I warm up yesterday, so you know.
Yeah, and just like the people on there, like she was doing back then was I forgot the bands, but you were one of them. That's when I first heard. That's right, man. Probably in the same DVD together.
Yeah.
Okay, I definitely want to get into the you being arrested and all that stuff. I know you told the story a million times. Right. If you don't mind saying it.
Yes.
But I'm going to take a pause for 1 second because I have to go pee really bad.
Cool. Can we chicken?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, stop that. This is amazing. Okay, we are back. I took a pee. Randy smoked his little thing. He's chilling. We're all good to go now.
Not weed.
But As the Palaces Burn, that's a fucking incredible documentary. Super emotional. My whole family watched it. And obviously people know the story, told the story a bunch of times. And but just knowing the fact you were doing a documentary, then this occurred during that, changed the whole fucking. It was so basically in a nutshell. 2012, you're arrested in the
2010.
2010 arrested in Czech.
No, 2012. You're right.
Come on, I did my deep diving. You got arrested in Czech Republic for a previous concert that happened 2 years before in Prague.
Right.
Where somebody was pushed off the stage. It's weird because online I read different things, but in the documentary I saw a different angle, a different thing of it as well, where supposedly a fan was pushed off stage and he died.
Yes.
And you had no idea about that.
None.
and you don't come back to Europe for 2 years, and then you get arrested when you fucking get there. Nobody said nothing. With the internet, with everything, you knew nothing about for 2 years. That's so fucking mind-boggling to me that nobody even reached out to you.
Right. Well, the American government was the Czech government reached out to the American government, right? And they were like, there's a young man who died after a concert a month after this concert. I believe it was a month after we had played in 2010.
Thank you for telling the story too, man.
From a head injury. We are getting reports that perhaps a singer pushed him off or whatever, and we'd like to investigate this guy or whatever. So the Czech government reached out to the American government. They did the right thing. The American government looked at it and was like, this is bullshit. It's a show, and we're not gonna send this guy over to you or whatever for this, right? So I guess that's cool, except for the American government never once contacted us and said, by the way, you're wanted for investigation in the death of another human being in a foreign country.
Yeah, that's strange. They never reached out to you. That is strange.
So we played this show in 2010, and it was a really rough show. Like,
saw the footage. Yeah.
Like, there were constantly from the first literally 40 seconds of the show, 30, 40 seconds. I have video of up to a certain point.
Yeah. I was in the doc too, I think, right? Some of the footage.
Some of it, yeah. There's people constantly on this stage.
Crazy.
It was very crammed. We had a lot of equipment. It was really crowded, really dangerous. There was a barricade, which contractually we have in our contract. We need a barricade. And it's got to be this far from the stage, and it's got to be of this type. We need security in front, not so much to protect us, but to like catch kids.
Totally.
100%. So shit like this doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
They had a busted ass barricade that was pushed flush up to the stage, which was basically a ladder, and security guards didn't do anything. There was like one or two, I think, on either side of the stage. And so kids were constantly on stage running into us and stuff. So I remember that it was just a bad show, and constantly being like, you can't be on stage. There's not enough room.
Banging into all of our shit, everything. Yeah.
And you're going to knock one of us off, or the equipment's going to fall and kill someone, because a lot of heavy shit.
Yeah.
There's no room. This is not the pylon stage. It's not the time for the youth crew sing along.
Yeah.
And like, it was just crazy. And I remember we left, and I hadn't drank any that day. I know this because I found a diary later.
Oh, wow.
That I had kept, right? But I remember I didn't drink at all, but I remember I was looking at my diary. I was really getting tired of my drinking at that time. And I got sober later that year in 2010, October 18th, 2010. I was in Australia. But that was still in the summer of 2010. And I remember I was getting really sick of drinking, and I was like, I'm not going to drink today. So I went around Prague, and then we played this horrible show. I was like, fuck. And then as we're getting ready to leave, my publicist calls me and lets me know that my friend Paul Gray had died, who played bass for this band, Slipknot. Right? He had died. So like, I was like, fuck, that sucks. I guess I'm going to have a drink. Because he died from, substance abuse.
Okay. Okay.
What do you do when someone dies of substance abuse? Naturally, you abuse some substances like a dipshit. So I remember taking a drink as we were leaving, going to Poland to play the next show. Or we were going to Germany. I can't remember. But yeah, we were going to Poland. And but I hadn't drank anything that day,
Yeah.
So, and it was a terrible show, and there were kids all over the place and shit. And I remember telling them to stop it. We had no idea anybody had been hurt or anything.
Yeah.
So we left. And
are your shows usually that crazy with people on stage?
Back in the day they were, but like, it's got to the point now where that just can't happen, dude.
Okay.
If we didn't, dude, it it would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
It would be a complete nightmare.
So that was kind of a weird off night, kind of like small, tight, packed place. Yeah.
Well, and security didn't do their job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there was one kid who kept on getting on stage falling all over us. And finally, I put him on his back. And I remember very distinctly, I put him on his back and got on top of him like you do a dog. Like, no. No. And he was fucking hammered, right?
Yeah.
And eventually he stumbled up, fell off the stage himself, you know. He wound up coming to the trial and testifying on my behalf later.
I saw that.
So, like, so we leave and like, that's that. And then, like, you know, a few months later, I get sober in Australia. We were on tour with Metallica. And
no big deal, Metallica. Yeah.
Huh?
That's amazing, Metallica. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So we're, great dudes. I get sober there, and, you know, a year and a half or so goes by, and then almost 2 years goes by, and we show back up, and we're over in Europe doing the festival run.
Yep.
You know, and we fly from Norway. We play this awesome festival in Norway. We got there from like the dressing room to the gig in like a sailboat. It was awesome. Like,
wow.
Through the fjord and shit. Life was awesome. So we fly from Norway to Prague to play the first show in like 2 years. Max is fucking shit up.
I know.
And
it's a serious story, man. Chill.
It's all right.
Go ahead.
Just busting his chops.
I know. Okay.
So we fly from Norway to Prague, and we had a day off. And I remember the only other time we've been to Prague, it was a beautiful city. And I was like, I got a day off. I'm going to walk around and see a bunch of historical
Beautiful
shit.
city, man.
It's so beautiful, man. I have a lot of love for the place, even to this day. But I had it all planned out, some places I wanted to go, and we get off the plane and we're leaving, and there's this woman in the hallway, or this dude in the hallway, taking passports from some people as we walk by, and we're like, okay. I mean, you've been to so many different countries, dude.
Totally.
You know, it's like it's a different
procedure
everywhere you go.
Totally.
So I'm like, all right, well, that's weird. I give it to him. And then as we get to the end of the runway, I noticed that they were pointing some people to the right and some people to the left. And
anxiety, man.
I got pointed to the right, and I walked to the right, and in this room, I see all the other passengers getting off. And in this room to the right, I see my bass player, and I see like 4 or 5 dudes, like big Eastern Bloc Slavic motherfuckers, muscular guys with machine guns and pistols and knives strapped to them and face mask. All you could see was the holes in their eyes.
Oh my God.
And then there was like 2 or 3 other big plainclothes detective type dudes, and then this blonde woman. And I walk in, and I'm like, I see these people, and I see my bass player, and I'm like, phew, someone is in trouble. And I started laughing, right?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, it's a party. It's a party going down right here. I start singing like Cool in the Gang to my bass player. He goes like, nah, this ain't no party, dude. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. But I'm like, I'm not thinking anyone in my band or my crew or myself.
Yeah.
Because this squad looked like they were there to get bin Laden, bro. Wow. They looked like they were to kill a terrorist.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Face mask and shit.
That's crazy, yeah.
So I'm just like, whatever. And then finally they bring my whole band and crew. They funnel us all in there, all the band and crew. And they look at us. And then finally they come up and they look at this woman looks at my passport, and she looks at me and she goes, are you David Randy Blythe? Blythe, or however she pronounced it. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, okay, this is for you, and handed me a piece of paper. And I was reading it, and it was saying, from what I could understand, because the English was really kind of mangled, that someone had died at a show, our previous show there, and that they were going to charge me with what I assumed to be the equivalent of manslaughter. Dude. Which I was correct. And I was like, I remember my guitar player, Mark, looking at it. He's like, oh, someone died at the show. And I'm like, yeah, and they're charging me with killing this guy. And then the lady's like, okay, I need you to gather whatever medicines you need. You're going to have to come with us. Like, if you have medicine. Because you're going to be gone for a while. So I grabbed like a pack and a half that I had of cigarettes and like I think some medicine I was on at the time, and they took me off to jail.
And so, what are you feeling at that moment when you're reading that? Is you, like, your heart dropped? You like
everything got
surreal.
everything slowed down. time slowed down, like, because I do really well in stressful situations for some reason.
Yeah.
And everything, I was like, okay, this is very serious all of a sudden. Everything slowed down, and it was like my senses became like hyper aware of everything that was happening. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, you need to pay attention very closely to everything that's happened right now, and you need to be very careful with what you say, you know?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going on, and you're being arrested.
Language barrier, all that shit.
You're being arrested in a foreign country. And, you know, I grabbed my stuff as we're walking out. I think my guitar player, someone said, you might want to call a lawyer. I'm like, I thought, no shit, dumbass. You know, yeah, I'm going to. Yeah. So they carried me off, and we're in the car.
They put you in handcuffs?
Did they put me? I think they put me in handcuffs. Definitely. They put me in handcuffs.
Oh my God.
They put me in handcuffs and walked me to the car out in front of the Prague airport. And I got in the car, and it was me and this one plainclothes detective in the front and this other cop driving. And as we're driving, the detective tried to like kind of be like buddy with me. Like,
good cop,
but
bad cop.
But his English was really bad, right?
Yeah.
And I guess he didn't understand that I know the psychology of cops and good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
He was just trying to be good cop, but it was in really broken English. He's like, so what do you remember? And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to say anything until I have a lawyer. He's like, well, surely your memory isn't that. You seem like a smart guy. And I'm like, I think I need a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he just like, he was bummed. You know,
you totally didn't say anything to him in the car ride.
Fuck no, dude. It's just like, it's like, dude, haven't you ever seen any? Don't you guys have cop TV shows over here? You never say anything to the cops.
Do you start thinking like, I'm gonna go to jail for murder the rest of my life? Do you start thinking about like, I'm fucked forever? Nothing like that.
At that point in time, I'm like, this is some sort of terrible mistake.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like maybe or somebody, you know, maybe someone is like trying to pin something on me. I don't know.
Your mind's probably racing. Yeah.
Well, it was just like, I don't know what's happening, so I'm just going to be very calm, and I'm just going to sit, and I'm going to keep my fucking mouth shut until I see a lawyer.
Okay.
Which, kids, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. So then you get to the police station, right?
Get to the police station.
Does anybody speak English there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this woman, the woman who handed me the piece of paper, she comes in and starts questioning me, and I'm like, I think I need a lawyer before I answer anything, you know. And she's like, we're working on it, but it was like a holiday or something, so it was really. And by that time, obviously, my band had contacted management and our lawyer, and he was working on getting a lawyer for me in Prague. But they were kind of like trying to get me to talk, and I was just not having it. And this woman is like, finally, the woman who handed me the piece of paper, she was a detective. She's like, would you like to know what the charges you face, what the sentence is? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, 5 to 10 years. No time off for good behavior. And that's, if you're found guilty of that crime, there's no like in America, do 5 years, do 3 or whatever.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
So I was like, okay, cool. And I just
calm. Yeah.
Sat there, and I was very, very calm, you know, because I'd been sober about almost 2 years by then. And like, I'm just like, okay, this is a serious part of my life that I have to deal with, you know?
Yeah. So she tells you that, that could happen to you. And like, okay, cool. I need a lawyer still, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like, could you please give me my fucking lawyer?
Does that mean you need a physical lawyer to appear there from America, or you need someone on the phone, or what does that mean?
What?
Does it mean you need your lawyer to come there?
Well,
physically?
No, I couldn't have an American lawyer.
Okay.
Czech Republic. So it has to be someone who A, speaks English, and B, is, you know, a member of the Czech bar. I guess that's what they call it. And so I got a lawyer. Luckily, Martin Radvan, rest his soul. He passed away recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a great dude.
Wow, man.
But he was a guy. He had lived in America for a while, because when Czechoslovakia, when the Czech Republic was still Czechoslovakia, when it was still the Eastern Bloc, you know, which was, you know, until 89, I think. He had done some work for people who were being politically persecuted.
Gotcha.
So he was advised by someone he knew in the government that he might want to leave Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
Because it's a communist country.
Yeah.
And they don't fuck around.
Yeah.
So he had done some lawyering for some political dissidents and it had helped them stay out of jail. And the government was like, okay, fuck this guy.
Okay.
Luckily he knew someone. So he went to America and lived here for a while.
Okay.
And learned really good English, spoke, sort of colloquial English like an American.
Yeah.
So he was my guy. And then by the end of it, I had like 5 different lawyers, I think.
Damn, man.
It's not cheap.
Yeah. So how long were you there until he came into the mix? It was a couple of days because it was a holiday.
So the lawyer came into the mix?
Yeah.
I think it was like 16 hours or something.
Okay.
I was in like a holding cell. And then he met me. And then I was in the city jail for another 2 days. And then they carried me to a courtroom where the charges were read against me, and they set a bail, and then he said, "Okay, hopefully you'll get bail soon," or whatever. My lawyer was there, and they carried me off to prison. So Pankratz prison, which is 123-year-old at the time prison. It was like being in a Misfits song, dude.
Holy shit. Were you scared? Were you nervous going there? Or scared or anything?
Yeah, I was nervous.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front
because you're being so chill. But now it's like I'm gonna go to.
I maintain chill, but like
the outside, yeah.
Going to prison is fucking scary as shit.
Holy fuck! So now you're going to prison.
Yeah.
All right, so now they're gonna keep you there. So what about bail? What about?
So my bail was almost $250,000, right?
Fuck.
So my band contacts our label and is like, look, our singer is in prison in the Czech Republic and bail or whatever, and they're like, so they loaned the band, I think it was $240,000.
Okay.
All right, and I'm told, okay, your bail's been paid. It's all good. Unlike in America, though, the prosecutor got wind of this, and he's like, I object. I object to the conditions of his bail. I object. So then it's got to go back to court.
Yeah.
So then this goes on. I was in prison. I was in jail for 3 days. I was in prison for 34 days. So somewhere in those 34 days, it went back to court. The bail thing did, and they're like, okay, we're going to grant you bail. We're going to grant you bail. Yes, you can get on bail, but now it's double. So now the bail is up to $500,000 almost. We've already borrowed $250,000 from the label.
Yeah.
So luckily we have friends, and I'm not going to say their names, but they're wealthy. Thank you, dudes.
It's awesome.
And they're like, they had contacted my band, was like, if you dudes need anything with this, let us know.
That's incredible, man. Yeah.
So they boom, there's another $250,000.
Wow.
And the bail was paid, and then they kind of had to do it secretly because if the prosecutor had found out, he could have objected to that, and I could have been rearrested on other terms. So I got out of prison and spent a night or two at my lawyer's house in Prague, and then kind of snuck out of the country. Like, we didn't let him know. They did it on a weekend, so I guess the prosecutor wouldn't know. I flew, right? But there was no announcement that I was out of prison or anything, right?
Holy
There was a whole other plan at one point where they were going to there was like this ex-military commando Russian guy who was going to get in a car and drive me over a border so I wouldn't be arrested, like leaving the Czech Republic, but they sorted it out somehow.
Holy shit.
It was real crazy, dude. It was real fucking crazy. So...
Fuck. What's it like what was like in that prison? Like, you have a cellmate?
Yes.
Did people recognize you?
I had
scary?
I had one, and this is an awesome story. It was scary, yeah. But everybody
Fucking
knew
jail.
why I was in there, right? Because I was the number one news story in the Czech Republic for a while.
Okay.
Like, the number one news story.
Wow. Okay.
And it's not a good thing to be the number one news story for, right?
Fuck.
So I was in a cell in the jail for 3 days, and then they took me to prison, and I had a Mongolian cellmate named Dorj. And like my third day in prison, this guy comes by, right? And he's just like, it's a guard. He opens the door, and he's like, he looked really nervous. And he looks at me, he goes, Randy, I saw you at Rock am Ring. I saw you up front with Vinnie Paul and so from Pantera.
Oh my God!
I saw you watching Alice in Chains, and I saw your band. I love you. You have to get out of here, Randy. This is fucking stupid because some guy hurts himself stage diving. They don't know. You have to get out of here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to do it. And he's like, you have to believe. You have to. He's like, got this really, and he's like, he hands me some cigarettes. Right.
Wow,
and
man.
he didn't smoke. He had gathered some from me. He put them through the little bars. And I'm like, thank you, dude. And I'm like, hold on. And I always have in my wallet, I always pick up my guitar player's guitar picks.
Shut the door, babe.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I can give them to whoever. Wow. So I'm like, hold on. And they had let me keep my little wallet in prison. I gave him a guitar pick. Right.
It's amazing, dude.
So, and then he disappeared, and I wrote about him in my book. And I was like, dude, if I ever meet you again, the beers are on me.
That's incredible.
So
man.
like about 2 years ago, we did a cruise. We did the Megadeth cruise.
Okay.
And I'm walking through the hallway on the cruise ship, and this guy comes up to me with a foreign accent. He goes, do you remember me? And I'm like, we were in the water somewhere in between California and Mexico. I looked at him. He goes, I met you in Pancrat's prison. And it was the guard.
Oh my God.
And I was like, holy fucking shit. and so we did this like Q&A, like answering thing, right? With this guy. I mean, with the audience. And I told that story. I was like, this guard gave me some cigarettes. And it was really, he was the first person that treated me like a human being in that prison because he was a fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he's right here right now. And I owe him beers. So I had my guys, I'm like, go get him a round of beers. I had my manager go get him and his boys some beers. And I told everybody, the whole boat, I'm like, that dude took care of me in prison. Buy him drinks. And like,
my God,
that was
dude.
the last I saw him because people got him fucked up. Like, took care of his
We made it off the boat. Yeah.
But it was this incredible moment, dude.
Holy shit.
So I met him in prison, in the basement of a prison, and then I met him on the cruise ship where my band was playing.
That's fucking beautiful, man. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But were you eating food with everybody? Were you like secluded? Were you like...
They brought food to our cell, right? So,
Yeah.
all right, so food was brought to your cell, and we were allowed out of our cell 1 hour a day. First of all, when you go to Pancrat's prison, everybody goes to get checked to see if they're depressed or not, if they're a danger to themselves.
Wow.
You know, they're mentally ill. So where do they put you? They put you in the basement, which is the most depressing part of the fucking...
I'm sure.
of the prison, right?
Yeah.
Is depressing as fuck, right? So, and the whole place is crumbling. Like, there'd be no way it'd be allowed to be open.
Scary movie,
here.
yeah.
You know, like human rights organizations here where like, people would throw a fit, you know?
Yeah.
But it's depressing as fuck. It's unhealthy as shit. There's mold everywhere and shit.
Damn.
So they bring you food. You're allowed out 1 hour a day when you're in the basement. You go to this little tiny cage, and there's like everybody in the basement goes there. The guy in the cell next to me luckily spoke English. He's like, look, when you're going to get a psychological evaluation. When they ask you what you think about the prison, if you're depressed, do not tell them you're depressed. Tell them it's fine, you're okay, because otherwise you'll get stuck in this basement. And I'm like, how do you know this? He's like, because when they asked me, what did I think of the prison? I was like, what the fuck do you think? I think it fucking sucks, you know? They're like, oh, you're depressed. You got to stay in the basement. So he had been in the basement for a month.
Holy shit.
So I stayed in the basement for like a couple of weeks, and then they're like, okay, we're going to move. They gave me the psychological evaluation, and this woman evaluated me, and I was just like, I don't see what people are complaining about. It's not that bad here. It's fucking hell, dude. Like, it's a terrible prison.
Fuck.
Like, they feed you expired food, like fruit with worms in it, like just gross shit.
Dude, it's
dude.
a horror movie, man.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
You're probably starving in there, yeah.
Yes, they say that there's a joke in the amongst the prisoners in the Czech Republic that if you want to go on a diet or lose weight, that's the prison to go to.
Holy shit!
Because the food is so bad. So
You
and
have
I did lose weight. You dude, you'd be toast.
You have no books or nothing with you, none of that shit?
Oh, that's I
get
want,
later, yeah.
But like, so they moved me to population eventually, which is by that time I had 2 Mongolian cellmates. Dorj and Gambold. It's like a joke. 2 Mongolians and an American rock singer go to prison in the Czech Republic.
It's crazy, man.
So they were cool. One of them was cool. One of them was like really racist and out of shape and fat and lazy and like would make fun of me when I'd work out. George, the fat one. All he'd do was sit there and eat on his bed like chips and shit. If you're doing push-ups, he'd be like, you weak like girl. It's like no matter how you did.
Yeah.
He was like the world's worst personal trainer, just like this fat dude. And he was really racist. Like Obama was the president at the time.
He was talking shit. Yeah.
He was talking shit. He's like, your president is a chimpanzee. And I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Jesus
he
Christ.
had darker skin than Obama, Wow. I was like, you're fucking, he was a ridiculous human being.
Is he still in there, you think?
No.
Okay.
He was there because he was a drunk, he was there on like not having a work visa or whatever. And he'd like wreck a truck.
You had like a serious charge there. Yeah.
So I'm sure he's back in Mongolia now. They deported him. But so they moved us to population, which is you're still in a cell 23 hours a day, but then you get to go out to the yard, not this little cage. And that's where everybody is. So that was intense.
People staring at you and shit.
Oh, yes.
Did you feel threatened like you could get jumped or anything?
There was one dude I watched real close. Like when I walked out in the yard the first day, I walked out and I was like, okay, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. And I'm going to fucking kill someone, right? Like that's the way you have to think, dude.
Yeah.
But the problem is that their language, Czech, they don't express emotionally the way that we do. So they kind of sound angry sometimes when they're not.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell if someone's beefing or not. So I was just like, I'm just going to walk out and I'm going to sit my back against the chain link fence. I'm going to wait. And I did. And people looked because everybody knew why I was there. Everybody.
Yeah. All the television, everything. Yeah.
Yes.
The celebrity in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But most of them were just like, it's about the money. They were like, this is bullshit. So, and then like they were getting the papers and like Ozzy, Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon sent a letter to the judge and offered to like do a free Ozfest and donate the money to charity if they would honor my bail. Yeah. Yeah. Ozzy and Sharon tried to look after me. So like the prisoners are like, Ozzy Osbourne is talking about you. Like,
wow.
Like it's crazy.
That's fucking crazy.
But I walked out the yard and like nobody fucked, but there was one guy who was giving me the stink eye. And I watched him the whole time I was there. It's like
every time you're around him and shit. Yeah.
Like,
but he never did shit. He was just staring you down. Yeah. Damn.
So it was hectic, and I also had
like a movie, man.
I had friends who I'd made in the basement who like they had been moved to population at general time. So when we were out, I kind of started hanging with them.
Yeah,
but it's
doing like weights in the yard and shit like that. Were you doing shit like that or no?
No, not in that yard.
Yeah, 34 days is a long time, man.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I know dudes who have done a lot more.
No, I know, but, but still, it's a foreign country. Like, what the fuck's going on?
It was really weird. I think that was the whole thing. It's just like I don't know what the fuck is going on. We keep on paying our bail. We paid it twice, and then they're still we raised it and we paid it, and they're like, okay, we think we're gonna honor it, and it's just like, what the fuck, dude?
It's a lot of money, man. Yeah. And the guy saying, "Oh, it's just about money." Like, interesting. Yeah. Fuck, man. So now you sneak out, so because you did your bail, and now we obviously have to come back, but now you get out and you go back home, right?
Yeah.
And how long are you home for before you have to go back to trial?
I was home.
And that must have felt amazing going home.
It was. Immediately had to go on tour, pretty much.
Fuck.
We played our first 2 shows like 10 days after out of prison, I think. Not Fest. The 2 Not Fest.
Yeah, and how many shows you have to cancel when you get arrested? You have a whole tour?
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
fuck. So I had to go on tour because all this shit costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were losing, like, the fans, dude, like we sold some like stuff associated to like our band, like memorabilia and stuff like that, and then fans donated money. Like, dude, they are the reason why I like just didn't like lose everything. Didn't lose my house. Didn't lose. It's
amazing. They
fucking they hooked it up, dude. So I love you, dudes. If y'all are listening,
that's incredible,
and ladies.
Yeah, and
So,
I think the footage you coming from the airport and you come home. Remember that? That's like super emotional. Like, fuck, man. So now you're home and you're kind of free because the trial hasn't happened yet, but you get out of there.
Right. And everybody's like asking me what's going to happen. Are you going to go back? And I'm like, yes, I'm going to go back because, I mean, they never would have extradited me. I didn't have to go back, but that's like, it's not like a parking ticket.
Yeah.
You know? And also I needed to know, dude, like ethically, like the young man who died, his family never came at me. They never were like, fuck yeah, blah, 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 blah. They just wanted to know what happened to their kid.
Totally.
And who wouldn't?
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Who wouldn't? And like,
did they reach out to have contact with you at all?
Towards the end of the trial.
Yeah.
Like, but they just wanted to know, man.
Yeah.
You know, and
I get it.
And I could have like just stayed in America, but like, I knew I had never tried to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
It was a matter of trying to explain to these 3 judges who are all raised in communist Czechoslovakia who have no concept of what a metal or hardcore show is. Like, none.
Probably like so crazy to them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to explain this to them. And, I mean, so like, I was gonna go back, but I mean, some people are like, I wouldn't go back. It's like, well, fuck you, man. I gotta figure. In this, you know, I knew I didn't do what they were saying I do. You know,
so you didn't have to go stand trial. You chose to go back there.
They never would have extradited. They never would have extradited me, man. There's no fucking way. The American government wouldn't cooperate with them in the first place. Remember?
Yeah.
Now, had I wound up in Europe, I mean, it would have been like. You know, I'm sure there would have been like, because the EU and stuff, I would have been arrested in Europe or whatever.
Yeah.
Gone back there. But like, I mean, especially since there'd been so much attention given to the case by that time.
Insane. Yeah.
But I mean, I could have chilled here and like, some people never leave America.
Yeah. So hauling you home before after, because you do a tour, right? Now you're on a tour.
Do a tour too.
How was your mental? Like, are you thinking about the case the whole time and trying to fucking like just live and be happy and not?
I'm trying.
Because you know what your freedom's going to be at that point.
I just tried to like really stay in the moment, and because I kind of like my mind was like I'd been sober for a year and a half, and by the end of my drinking, I was just ready to die. So pretty much anything was better than that, and that's might be. It's hard for people who don't have an addiction or something like that to understand that. You know?
Yeah.
But I would have rather stayed in prison rather than take another drink.
Wow.
I wrote about that.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's powerful.
Because like I was pretty sure I could survive prison. I don't think I could survive drinking anymore.
Wow, man.
So like my mentality was like, okay, this is something you have to face and go through. And
you're facing it's totally sober. Yeah. It's different reality.
And try and stay in the moment and realize the reality of your situation and remain grateful for what you have, Yeah. Gratitude is a powerful tool.
Yeah, fuck, man. So going back for the trial, so what was that? How long were you home for? You had to go back a couple months?
No, I was home for, I think, 6 months.
Oh, shit,
and then
that's a long time.
Back. Because we did like 1 or 2 tours. And then I went back like a month before the trial started to start preparing for the trial. And I was in Prague for a month.
Was it nervous going back there and like landing there and going back?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Fuck, I've been so anxious.
Even though I was like legally, I was out on bail legally. I was doing everything legally.
Yeah.
Like the prosecuting attorney had like a real hard on for me. And I know it's because he was a policeman before, and the American government was contacted by their police, and the American government said, fuck you.
Yeah.
So he basically was like, well, okay, well, fuck you.
Yeah, but you didn't even know about it. You didn't even know they were contacted.
No, yeah.
That's the most fucked up thing. They could have told you like 2 years before.
There was a political element to this whole thing, for sure,
They should have your best interest, though, if they're calling in. It's crazy, man.
I don't know why I didn't.
And nobody told you shit.
Nobody told us shit. So, I mean, I would have got this sorted. Before it's like I said, it's not a parking ticket, bro.
I know,
it's not
dude.
something you just ignore. So
Fuck.
I go back to Prague, and I was there for a month. for the
preparing
trial
for this shit.
preparing
Yeah.
for the shit, talking with all the lawyers, getting everything together, and I was nervous at first, but I walking around Prague. I mean, I walked around by myself, and nobody ever said anything to me except for one old man. I was walking through Wenceslas Square. It's a beautiful square there, and I hear this old man call my name. He goes, Randy. And I turn around. I'm like, oh, here it is. I'm going to get cussed out. And he goes, it is good that you came back.
Wow.
Like, okay. And then he walked away. He was showing me respect because I did an interview right before I left where they're like, will you come back? And I was like, absolutely. I'll be here.
Yeah.
I gave my word. So nobody, and I was there for such a horrible reason.
Yeah.
This trial, but I really grew to love Prague. It's so beautiful.
So beautiful, man.
I spent a month there and in the winter preparing for my trial when I wasn't preparing.
You came back by yourself?
Huh?
You flew back there by yourself?
With our band's lawyer.
Okay, cool.
Jeff, who wasn't able to represent me in court, but because he is, he understands our world. He worked with my Czech lawyers to kind of,
great.
It's
so important. That's awesome
to get it across to these people.
Yeah.
So, I was there for a month and I just shot a lot of photos and walked around and just tried to enjoy what I could of the place.
Yeah. Were you thinking that you were going to be found guilty and go to jail for the rest of your life?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I knew if I was found guilty, I'd do at least 5 years.
Is it hard to sleep and not stress out and not want to drink and not fall back to that way?
Drinking wasn't. I think that's the whole thing. It's like for me, drinking. When something bad happens, I don't think if I ever drink, I never say I'll never drink again because I don't have a crystal ball, right?
Yeah.
I know that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to drink for the rest of today.
Yeah.
That's all I have to worry about.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
If I just keep doing that with every new day, just don't drink today.
Yeah.
It's cool. And it's not hard. But I don't worry about stressful things making me drink.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm like, that's how I used to deal with things.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that doesn't work. It only makes it worse. So that's not what I'm worried about. What I worry about is if I get lazy and things get too good. When I'm chilling too much.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got this.
Yeah, because that's where it originally kicked off too. After you signed the deal. Yeah.
That's how alcoholism will sneak up on me. It won't be the death of a parent or losing all my money or going to prison or something stressful. That's not how it will attack me. It'll come from the side when things are good.
Gotcha. So you're super focused, super strong on the case, learning all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what you're going to say.
Trying to figure out, because it had been so long ago and there were so many different testimonies, conflicting testimonies, because everybody has different meanings. And to me, when they were asking me, what do you remember about this night and this part of the show and this part of this? And it's like, dude, think about it. How many shows have you played, dude?
So many.
Can you tell me what happened during the second half of the third song in 1999?
No.
In CBGB. What happened?
I know. Nothing. I remember. And it's like, and I'm sober and I don't even know. I know.
Fuck no. Yeah, it all blurs together.
Totally blurs together, man. They're trying to be dissect the whole show and shit.
It's crazy. So.
Damn.
So I just, prepared as much as I could. And unlike America, in America, what happens is if someone's being charged with something, they get up and they read the charges, and then the prosecutor examines you, and then the defense attorney cross-examines, and then they do all this other stuff. But in the Czech Republic, what happens is the person being charged gets up, and they read the charge, and the person being charged just gets up and gives their whole account of the events first.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So I had to practice that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And a lot of it was really intense. But the Czech, they kept on telling me, you have to dial back the emotion because Czech people are not outwardly as emotional as we are. And I'm a pretty animated person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like you.
Yeah. Totally. You have to chill. Wow.
Yeah, they're like, you have to chill. And I'll be like, okay, I chilled. They're like, more. And I'm like, really? And they're like, more. And they're too much emotion. I'm like, dude, if I get any less emotional, I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
You know?
So no emotion. It's just
like
stone cold. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty much how it was.
Damn.
And that served me well at the end.
Yeah.
It was when I was found not guilty. I'd already decided I will show zero emotion no matter what happens. Zero.
But then when you're by yourself, you're like, oh, you're so freaking out.
When I was by myself after I was found not guilty, I finally
broke down probably.
After I talked to the family of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, is that the first time really talking to them after, right?
Yeah, I talked to them after that. I mean, that's stuff I'll never publicly talk about,
Of
but
course.
after that, I just sobbed.
That
was the first time I had cried.
Wow.
Since I'd been arrested.
I would just feel like such a relief. It's like, fuck, man.
Yeah, it was like, there is a relief, but the fact of the matter is that a young man died.
Yeah.
And like, although there's we don't know exactly what happened. My understanding in my mind is that the kid probably got on stage and I turned around and pushed and he went off. Or he could have jumped, or he could have, nobody knows. Right?
Yeah.
My instinct is that he had come onto the stage along with all these other people, and I turned around and was like, get away. And he fell and hit his head. You know? Now, and I was found not guilty, right? I think, but they said you have some moral responsibility. I found out later why they did that. That way we couldn't fucking sue the government for all the money we would spend. You're not guilty, but you have some responsibility. That way the government is off scot-free.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah.
It's a money thing. It's fucking crazy. So, wow. But I agreed with them in that I did have some responsibility because the show was so crazy. I should have stopped the show.
Yeah.
I should have said, fuck you, fuck this. We can't do this. But you're playing a show.
You're in that moment. It's just, I don't know.
And people are paid money to see this, and they're gonna be fucking pissed, and they're gonna be like, you rock star asshole. No matter what, people are gonna be pissed. I should have stopped the show. If I had done that, that kid would be alive today. So that is my responsibility.
Wow.
And I take that seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're in the moment. You don't even think about it because you don't even know what happened. Like, you was just a chaotic show in this venue that, it was this one night that the show got kind of crazy, but you didn't think or saw somebody get hurt at that moment. Then if somebody, you were like, yo, stop. Somebody's got hurt. You know what I mean? Like, stop the show. This is fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were just having a show going off, having a good time. And yeah, fuck, man. That's fucking...
I wasn't having a good time.
Okay. I
was not having a good time.
You were trying to dodge everybody on stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of us at the end of that show were like, fuck this place.
Okay. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, the story's crazy. I mean, that story is just... After that, then I'm sure other bands start thinking, damn, I got to be careful on stage now. People come on stage and stage dive. If I even hug somebody, or because now sometimes kids come up to put you in a headlock and they're trying to take a selfie. It's just crazy.
Dude, that shit is whack, dude.
I know.
And like kids, like some of them are like, oh, being on stage is always a part of it. And it's like, look, dude, I want you to go back and like stop romanticizing this shit. I want you to go back and look at videos at some older shows. I want you to look at the videos of how the bands treated the dudes that wouldn't get off stage. You're gonna see some people getting fucking knocked the fuck out. You're gonna get some people getting dealt with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, if you don't want it to be like the 80s, trust me.
Yeah.
You guys don't want that.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Seeing some of the footage of bands we mentioned. Yeah, like even with the fans and stuff, or mic stands, just all that crazy shit. Yeah,
these kids, y'all don't want that.
Yeah, so like the barricade's there for a reason. Obviously, it's to keep everybody. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, and so when they make it over there, all that shit. Yeah, it's so fucking. Its story's so crazy, man. Just watching and the way you're just doing a doc and then it turned into that.
Yeah, well, we were making a documentary about our fans because we had already done like the stupid, like these dudes are a party animal band kind of idiots. And we're like, oh, we better turn the camera around and like show how music is universal, And then
and then that shit happens. Fuck, man.
So I did the trial and it was found not guilty.
Yeah. And then you go home.
Then I go home and then it's still another like year, I think, where like the prosecuting attorney, even though the family had said in court, they're like, look, we don't think him going to prison is going to make anything better. We just want him to know how much this has affected us. It's rightfully so.
Totally.
I got really lucky. They were very cool. But the prosecuting attorney had a hard on, so he objected. So then that went back to court. I had to wait. I didn't have to go back to court for that one, but
even though you're not found not guilty, you still
yes, he objected to my innocent verdict.
Okay,
and so then they rejected his appeal, and then he had chance to appeal one more time. It could have gone to the Czech Supreme Court, but either they chose not to see it or he didn't use his second appeal. I never found out. So it was like a year after I was found not guilty that it was finally.
Wow, man. Yeah. So altogether, how long was the whole? It just seems like so fucking long.
It was a long time.
Just being in jail for 1 day seems like fucking long. You know what I mean? Like, let alone 34 days, and then, fuck, man. Yeah, it's so cool. You had the closure with the family, all that. That's so important. And like everything is just, I don't know, man. I couldn't even imagine. But I'm sure moving forward after what happened with you, bands is so fucking like, I'm not going to hug somebody or slap somebody 5 or shake their hand or anything.
Bro, I mean, I definitely had talks with some of our mutual friends.
I'm sure.
I'm not going to say names.
I'm sure.
Band and crew guys. I was like, you monkeys better calm down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man.
Some of this wilding out shit because, like, dude, when I got out of prison, people were like, really? They locked you up for that? So many dudes in bands were like, I've done so much worse. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm
There's
like,
footage on YouTube of bands like, I'm
like, yeah. So I caught a bullet and like,
yeah, man.
Like,
yeah.
I caught a bullet for peeps. For some peeps. So like pay attention, y'all.
But
and it really I want people to have fun, dude.
I know.
I don't want everybody no offense. I'm not Ian MacKaye. Of course I love and respect Ian MacKaye.
Yeah.
But I'm not like having a Fugazi show, like
for sure.
where nobody's bumping into each other.
It's totally different. Totally different world.
I want motherfuckers to go off because that's what we do. But and there may be an injury or two, but like not a deadly injury, you know. But like, for me, it has made me really super cognizant of like.
That's what I was going to ask you.
What sort of precautions can be taken to lessen danger to people? Yeah, you know. Band and audience, and you know, also all the people on the stage. Also, I mean, dude, like, you know, I knew Dimebag, and Vinny is a dear friend of mine. As a matter of fact, they read a letter he wrote explaining the whole thing, translated to Czech into the.
Wow, really?
Yeah, he wrote a big long letter describing his brother being murdered from first person perspective, explaining why security is important.
Wow.
So, like, I mean, we were drinking with Dimebag a few months before he was murdered, and then we're in England and then you get this call. It's like, yo, they killed him.
Damn.
And that's fucked up.
So fucked up.
So like that's in your mind too, you know.
You had so much support from everybody, man. Incredible support, man. From all the different bands, everything, man. It must have felt amazing though.
It was very humbling.
The love, man.
Very humbling. The love is very humbling, man.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just very lucky, you know.
And then go ahead.
I do want people in bands to be like aware, because like kids, dude, this kid who died, he was 18, 19.
Fuck.
Kids they aren't thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they aren't thinking because they're kids. I mean, I can't judge like an 18-year-old for doing something stupid.
Yeah.
If I think of what I did when I was 18, get the fuck out of here, man. You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's like bands have to be responsible at least to try and make it as safe as possible.
Yeah, for
without killing the vibe.
Without killing the vibe with energy, yeah. Was it nerve-wracking playing your first shows back? Or did you have a different perspective when you go on stage? And now, obviously now, are you so aware, in tune with everything going on when you're playing now? Do you feel like all eyes are on you after that? Did you feel like that?
I mean, the first show we played when I got out of prison was Knotfest, was in front of like... 10,000 people or something outdoors, and they like this band Machine Head.
Yep.
You know, they played before us.
Yep.
And we were in a cornfield in Iowa somewhere, thousands of people. Machine Head played, and then they blew the power. So we walked over the stage, and the power was blown, and we were like half an hour late going on, and we remember standing behind the monitors, and they were chanting "Lamb of God, And then they just started chanting, Randy.
Oh, I saw the footage. It's in the doc,
Randy.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
And I'm just like standing there like, what the fuck?
Holy shit, man.
So like I walked out on stage and like it was crazy, dude.
Was it emotional? Was it?
Yeah, it was emotional. For
Yeah,
me,
I can't imagine, man. Fuck. But then when your own shows and you have the security and all that, you're like, yeah, you think people that know to come see your band now know that they're not going to come on stage and try to?
No, there's still some knuckleheads, and I made very plain, and then still do like if you get on stage, you're thrown out. And this is why I'm still awaiting trial, dude.
Yeah.
And people are still trying to get on stage. Fuck. And I'm like, you fucking idiot! Like I can't. Nothing can go wrong right now.
Yeah.
Nobody can get hurt.
No. Yeah. Man.
Not even a broken pinky nail. You know.
Yeah.
Because if that looks bad on me.
Yeah.
Dumbasses. You know what I mean?
And do you feel like for the rest of your whole career you're going to feel like that? Be like not on eggshells, but also super conscious now?
I'm more conscious.
Yeah.
I'm more conscious. But like we've always dude, we stopped shows before when people have gotten hurt.
Yeah.
Or like, or when some dude, we've stopped shows when like chicks have had their shirts ripped off. It's like, you don't do that. You know what I mean? Show respect.
Yeah.
Like we'll stop shows if there's a problem. Done it for years before that shit happened.
Yeah.
And will now too. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time now.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been almost 10 years.
Damn.
Since I got out of prison.
Wow.
And the trial ended. Because it ended in 2013. Yeah, it's been 8 years, 8 or 9 years.
Did it change you to make you a different person?
No.
Okay.
No.
You probably learned a lot about the justice system, all that shit too, though.
Getting sober made me a different person. Or it made me turn back to the person I was supposed to be. Drinking made me a different person. Getting sober made me who I was supposed to be.
Yeah. It's such an insane story and insane shit you went through. Like, yeah, you seem like very in tune with yourself.
I mean, I think it's like age. And like trying to stay sane in this crazy world.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're surfing now too.
Yes.
And that's something new you started. I feel like the connection with the ocean, especially I started doing it during the pandemic because my son surfs and started taking him at 5 a.m. Then I started trying to surf. Just being in the ocean, it's just such a peaceful. I can't explain it, man.
It's the best.
Like when you watch the surf docs and people talking like it's this experience of this. It's really true. Like once you're out there and it's just calm, even if I'm not even a good surfer, just being out there in the ocean, I don't know, just something magical, man.
It's my church. It's my connection to nature. And the other thing is it shuts off the brain once you're surfing because you can't think while you're surfing.
Yeah.
Because everything's changing so
fast.
So fast. You just have to do.
Yeah.
So it shuts the brain off.
And what made you start? I know you said you skated most of your life, but the surfboard thing, did you live by the water mostly? Or no?
Yeah. I'm from a coastal region. Like
my
mom lived in Riceville Beach, North Carolina, and lived near Virginia Beach, always near the ocean. I always loved the ocean, and I skateboarded since I was a young kid. Like,
it's so different than surfing though, no? Do you feel like it is or no?
It's the same and it's different, but the reason why I didn't surf is because I didn't have money for a surfboard. Surfboards are expensive.
They are.
Skateboards.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you do. Skateboards are not as expensive.
It's so true.
And so then when I got done with the whole trial and touring for a little while, and I had a literary agent hound me to. Do you know Tim Bohr? Do you know our booking agent? It's my boy for like 25 years. He used to book us back in the day. Yeah, well, Tim.
Shout out to Tim Bohr. I know you guys work together.
Yeah,
he's been
our booking agent for 20.
What?
Years. Yeah.
Shout out to Tim Bohr. I love you, man.
Yeah. So he was
dude.
trying to convince me to fucking talk to this literary agent after I got out of court. And I'm like, bro, they want me to write about this whole shit.
I'm sure. I mean, document everything, man. Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to write it. And he's like, will you please just talk to this literary agent? Finally, because he's my boy.
Yeah.
And he's from our world.
Yes, he is.
Like a real motherfucker.
Totally.
I was like, okay, I'll talk to this dude as a favor to Tim. And it wound up being my literary agent.
And that was 2015, right?
2014 maybe.
Okay.
14 when I started talking to the literary agent, and then I started writing the book, and I got a beach house down in Cape Fear, North Carolina.
You said Cape Fear?
Cape Fear.
Sick.
It's the region.
Great movie.
Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach,
Yeah.
Carolina Beach. I got a beach house down there on Oak Island, and I was, you can't find it like this anymore, but it was $600 a month, a block off the ocean.
Wow.
So I used my book advance. I was like, I'll get a beach house to write a book in for. And that's what I did, and I wound up keeping it for like 4 or 5 years until the landlord decided to remodel it. But $600 a month, dude, you can't beat it.
That's ridiculous, dude.
So, but while I was there writing my book, I was like, okay, I actually have enough money for a surfboard. I'm gonna learn how to surf now.
So cool, man.
I think I was 43. I started surfing.
It's incredible, man. It's a life changer, though.
Yeah, love it.
You're a longboarder mostly, though, no?
Yeah, a lot of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly, primarily. Like, I'm old and lazy, and shortboarding it requires more effort.
I remember the first time I got up, and that was last year. I just stood up for even a couple of seconds. It just feels so. Because skateboarding, you can.
I remember telling you need to surf.
Yeah, because I was going there a bunch of Max. You knew that. But like skateboarding, you control. Like I'm on a ramp, I'm on the street, but when you're on the board and the ocean's controlling, it's a weird energy. I can't explain it, dude. I want to get up like 6 times, but like those times, are like holy shit, I'm on top of the. Oh, it's so crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's the
I
best.
can't explain it. Like, and now I get when my son's addicted to it. He goes like twice a day or whatever. It's just being out there is so peaceful. Yeah, and then your book came out, Dark Days, a memoir, correct? That's what it's called? Are you going to do another book, you think?
Yes, I just nailed out the final proposal, and my the publishing company accepted it. So same publishing company.
Awesome.
So I got to, write this over this next year.
That's awesome. What's this going to be about? Just life?
Yeah, but it's sort of about perspective.
Nice.
The last book was about personal accountability.
Yep.
Like the story of what happened to me was just the vehicle I used to convey the theme of personal accountability. And like this book is going to be more about like trying to maintain a proper perspective on life during difficult times.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people have lost their shit recently.
Yes.
Because of this pandemic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And other things. But like, it's not the end of the world, dude. Like, we're not in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a crazy year, but like we made it through, and
mankind has gotten through far worse. So like, you got to use a little PMA.
Totally.
You gotta.
Yeah. And so, was the pandemic? Did it have any effects on you, like negative effects, or was it?
Dude, I'm not trying to sound like a dick because, like, I know
some people thrive, some people didn't. It affected people different ways. It's horrible.
I know that it was horrible. That it killed people, and
totally,
like, it's real.
Yep,
and
100%.
And I was cautious. That's why I'm vaccinated. I want to do everything right, but like, it wasn't that big of a fucking deal to me. Like the actual, other than the fact that it was affecting other people and it made everything uncertain.
Yes.
The
uncertainty.
But like I'm not trying to sound like a tough guy. I'm really not. But when you've been to fucking prison, right? And you don't know if your life is going to go down the drain in a foreign country, this is just not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I'll sit back and wait and I'll watch. And I'm fortunate because, I have ways of making money other than the band. I can write and do other things. And I'm not a rich dude, but I live in Richmond, Virginia, and we're fairly responsible with our money, and it's not that expensive there. So like,
$600 a beach fucking front. Wow.
I can like, and I'm not a materialistic person, so I can just sit back and kind of
take it all in. Yeah,
stay a little removed from it. In a lot of ways. It was a little bit harder, like lack of human contact after a while, like physical contact got to me.
Sure.
Because I'm a hugger, dude. And like, and like just not being able to hug my friends or my family or my grandma, especially. She's 100, she turned 100. I wasn't able to hug her on her. I got to actually hang out with her and hug her for the first time, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. This shit's so important, the human contact stuff. Man.
Yeah, it really is.
Because for a while, like social media was separating so many people. And I feel like in a positive way, it connected a lot of people during the pandemic, just worldwide, so people could see what other people are going through. But before that, I was like, dude, people don't even see each other anymore. I see, he's out there skating. He's okay. I shouldn't have to hit him up. It looks like he's okay. But I don't know how you are mentally. I see you're skating and doing this or surfing, but people really check in with each other. So I feel like that more people checked in more than ever the past year.
Yeah, I think there was a lot more. I think people reconnected. People I hadn't talked with in a long time.
Yeah. You know? So much shit. I want to mention too, you have a non-alcoholic brew called the Ghost Walker. It's pretty sick.
With Brewdog.
Yeah. When did that come out? Has that been out for a long time?
It's been out for about a year now, I guess. It was supposed to launch at this Megadeth tour, which got postponed and postponed and postponed. Because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And finally we said, fuck it. So we just launched it for mail order, and it was their best-selling mail order.
That's amazing. And when's that tour kick off, the Megadeth tour this year?
August 20th in Austin, Texas.
Sick.
So it's
exciting.
Yes. It's Megadeth, us, co-headliner with Trivium and In Flames.
It's a sick tour, man.
Yeah,
I want to talk about another thing too is Paradise City. You're acting.
Yes.
You did acting before though in something. I looked online. Something about you did something a while ago. I don't know what it was though.
I did a movie called The Graves, a horror movie.
That's it.
It was kind of a B budget horror movie where I thought I was going to be a natural actor. I thought I was just going to kill it, but I didn't because it's so hard.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for actors.
Yeah.
Like what they do is difficult. So it's also weird, you know, depending how deep they get into it.
Yeah.
But then I also did a Taiwanese political kung fu comedy.
I think I saw that too. Yeah. That's random, huh?
Chong, I think is how you say it. Chong. I'm friends with a Taiwanese metal band.
Sick.
Called Phonic. Their singer is actually a senator in Taiwan. They started their own political party.
Oh, wow.
To represent the youth vote.
That's fucking awesome.
They're a huge band from Taiwan. We met them on Ozfest, and they made a movie and asked me if I wanted to be in it. Hey.
It's cool, man.
So they flew me to Taiwan. Yes.
Holy shit.
It was rad. I was in a movie called Shoplifting from American Apparel.
That's what it's called?
Yeah. Which is based on this book by this guy named Tao Lin, who I can't stand the dude's writing, at least that book. It's like the worst. But my friend, Brad Warner, who's a Buddhist monk and also an author and also an OG hardcore kid. He was in a band called Zero Defects from Akron, Ohio, who did shit with like Dead Kennedys back in the day and shit. He wrote a book called Hardcore Zen, which
Hardcore Zen?
Yeah, punk rock monster movies and the truth about reality. It's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing.
I want to check that out.
Yes.
Okay.
And he lives out here, actually in LA now. But he's an actual Zen master dude, lived in Japan forever. But he was in this movie, Shoplifting from American Apparel.
Okay.
And I played the manager of an American Apparel who catches him shoplifting.
What?
It was really weird.
Super random, yeah.
And then I was in another movie it was me and David Vincent from Morbid Angel called Hair Metal Shotgun Zombie Massacre.
What?
I played the sound guy and he played the lighting guy, and we heckled the band. So.
Great. That's crazy.
In a few movies, and then I'm in the show Paradise City.
Yeah, with Dre Mateo and fucking Lorenzo, man. That's sick.
Lowry. Yo. Show me
you sound like him. How'd that come about, you being in that? There's billboards all over the city and shit here. It's crazy.
I know. I've known Lorenzo
Sworn enemy
for many years since the Sworn
Great
Enemy.
human, man.
Yeah, he is. He's
New York.
He's beyond human. He's like he's something else. He's doing so well.
He's doing so well, man.
But he came out here to be a wrestler,
I
think, and then he started working with Ash, who owns Sumerian or whatever, and then Ash did that movie American Satan, and then kind of Lorenzo co-wrote the Paradise City stuff with him,
Yeah.
And they, for his band, Over It All.
Over It All?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Over It All. Obviously they needed a singer, and I think they reached out to Josta and me and whatever else.
It's cool.
So,
yeah, so I get lots of people talking about it too.
Yeah.
I also love your photography too. Like you were doing so much during like all the marches, all this stuff happening around the East Coast, and your photography is incredible. Did you ever take classes for that?
No.
Just self.
No,
whatever.
it was entirely an accident, and it's Jamie Josta's fault once again.
Does Jamie take pictures?
No. Jamie.
You took some of him though.
No. Well, I have. But I had decided I wanted to unplug from the internet for a year. I was fucking sick.
And you did it. What year was that?
Well, this was right before I got arrested. I had decided, like, I was sick of cell phones. This was in 2010. And I was like, I'm going to unplug from the internet.
Wow.
And fuck this. And some people are like, you can't do that. And I was like, yes, I can.
Yeah, you can.
We toured without cell phones and all that
Facts.
shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had these things called maps made out of this stuff called paper. But I decided I was going to write a book about it. I was going to unplug from the internet for 1 year, see how I handled it, and write a book. And so I'm on a plane in Australia. Did you ever do Soundwave Festival?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We were on Soundwave, and Hatebreed was on there. So I'm sitting next to Jamie on this plane, flying somewhere, and I explained this whole thing about how I'm going to unplug from the internet for a year and write a book about it. And finally, I give him the whole big spiel, and then he just looks at me and goes, okay, here's how we're going to do the movie, dude. And he just
sound like him. It's crazy.
Totally. Yo. So totally threw my book idea out the window. He's like, you got to do a movie. I'm like, okay. So I asked some friends of mine, the guys who made the As the Palaces Burn documentary. Mm-hmm. I was like, what's a cheap camera that I can do some B-reel footage with for this documentary idea they have? And they told me what camera to get, a Canon 60D. So I started filming. I did a couple of interviews. I interviewed Mike Vallely.
Sick. Great skater.
And interviewed a professor at BCU, the college near me, about like how technology has changed their jobs and stuff. But then mostly I just use it to film skateboarding, me and my buddies.
Yeah.
And then one day I was in my kitchen and I saw a coffee pot sitting on the table. I was like, let me try and use this goddamn camera for taking a picture, just for the fuck of it. And I put it on automatic and went, and I saw the picture. I was like, oh, I'm amazing. I'm a genius. Totally average photo. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just totally normal photo. But I got, from there, I was just addicted to it.
Holy shit. Yeah, your pictures are incredible, man.
So it's Jamie's fault, ultimately.
Okay. Josta, we love you. Yeah. Josta sent me this Focusrite and told me I should start a podcast. And he sent it to me a couple years ago, and I started a podcast because of Jamie. So I still use it. Thank you, Jamie Josta. Would you ever put like a photo book out? Your photos are amazing, man. Mm-hmm. You think about doing that?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
You like going to DC during all that stuff. You like in the mix out there during the whole lockdown.
Yeah, like this summer, the last summer was it was wild.
Yeah, but you out there in the trenches though, taking photos, some really great photos, man.
Yeah, and I think, there's so many, I don't know. There's so many people doing that now. It's kind of.
I hear you, but you enjoy it though.
But people are also doing it for clout. They're not doing it like for artistic reasons or like social reasons in some ways, and like it kind of.
I know what you're saying.
It's hard. I'm looking to try and everybody has a camera now. Everyone.
Well, I mean, their phone's a camera. I mean,
yeah. So it's. I'm kind of trying to figure out what my next sort of focus for photography is going to be. I want it to be very focused.
Yeah. I mean, live shit, people do that. But yours was to document the marches and all that different stuff. It's a really great
that stuff is historically important.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to have a historical record of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And like a well taken, well composed photograph can display like the truth of a situation in some ways much better than like a 10-second little video clip where you don't understand what's going on,
Yeah, it's just a part of it. Yeah. I think you should do a book for sure. I think you'd fucking. I think you'd kill it.
Yeah.
This was last couple questions. People always ask these, but usually some people don't have any. But and you might have already answered it for me. Do you have any regrets in your life?
I think. I mean, there are things that, if I think about it, I wish I hadn't done. There's certainly things I'm not proud of, but I think after a certain point in my life, it's kind of like, it's kind of foolish to think about regretting and stuff, because if you did something you aren't proud of, or something that you wish you had done differently, or something you didn't do that you wish you had done, the way to fix that is to pay attention to the current moment and to do what you're supposed to do now in this moment.
Great point.
So I think being consumed by past mistakes and things is not only anti-productive, it's sort of egotistical. It's sort of just as much as like being a narcissist, because I think we're here to like do the best that we can and like be good to each other. Right?
100%, yeah, 100%.
I think so.
First and foremost, yeah.
I think so. So, but if I'm sitting there thinking about beating myself up, obsessing over like past things, I'm not able to do good things right now. I'm still just thinking about myself.
Dwelling on the past. Yeah.
So
I love
it's
that.
still just self, and you're not engaging with the rest of the world.
And I think we make mistakes and stuff we do that gets us to where we are today. And
100%.
You live and you learn all that shit. Like,
I mean, there's definitely things I would do differently, like I'm not saying like, fuck it, but
no, I know.
Like as far as like, do I really regret all these things? I mean, like, no.
Yeah. And you consider yourself an optimist or pessimistic? Are you a real? My wife says she's a realist.
I'm a realist, but I think consciously choose to be optimistic. It's not maybe a natural thing with me.
Yeah, we all go through struggles. We're not perfect and shit.
But I find that the more I keep a positive frame of mind, the better my life goes.
Yeah. Totally.
In some really tough shit, if I've managed to at least stay cognizant of the fact, okay, this is going to pass eventually. We're going to get through this. Things are going to at least get better than they are right now.
I mean, you've been through a lot of shit, man.
Yes. And so like it's going to, like when something bad happens now, I'm just kind of like, okay, what else is going to happen?
I mean, you've been through like one of the gnarliest things. It's like, I don't know.
Some other gnarly shit too. So it's just like,
okay.
I think if I'm sitting here like going, oh, we're fucked, which I do sometimes.
Yeah.
To go, oh, we're fucked. I'm not going to be able to move forward in any meaningful way.
Nah.
So PMA, positive mental attitude. I believe in it.
Yeah.
It is gifted to us by the bad brains.
Yes. I can tell. I totally know you have that shit. You know what I mean?
Even though Napoleon Hill, who they got
That's
from,
right. Yeah. Think and Grow Rich.
He's
the OG.
Yeah, but he was a fraud. You need to research him.
Okay.
But his concept is solid.
Yeah, we got the concept from. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like separating the artist from the work.
100%. Because there's some bands who inspire me who later on did not live what they sung about.
Right.
But I took that with me the rest of my life, and they may not be like that now, but I'm that way still because of them.
Yeah.
So we got something positive from Napoleon Hill, who inspired the Bad Brains, who inspired us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich and Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. Yeah, that's fucking interesting. I didn't even know that. I'm gonna check him out for 100%.
You should listen to a podcast called The Dollop.
Okay.
It's an American.
Did they break it down?
Yes, they're two comedians.
Okay.
It's an American humor podcast.
Okay.
And they're fucking awesome. They're from here in Los Angeles, so they do a whole episode on Napoleon Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to hear that because I knew nothing about that.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. And so if you had a name like a top 5, I know the Bad Brains are your number one. Mm-hmm. Do you have like a top 5
bands?
Yeah, just artists or influences in your life that maybe inspired you to do what you do, or somebody new that inspires you. And you're a hip hop head too, right?
Yeah, I love some hip hop.
It seems like all types of music. Yeah.
Reggae, like 70s dub reggae stuff. A lot of it.
Is there something that the fans would be shocked that Randy listened to that's not what a person that sings in Lamb of God is supposed to listen to?
Oh, most of what I listen to. I don't listen to a lot of metal. Dude.
Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of hardcore either. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, probably the thing that would probably be the most shocking, and it is kind of shocking to me, is because I hate what they stand for. Is I like the Pet Shop Boys.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's super left field. Yeah, I respect that.
But I hate what they are very consciously like pro-consumerism. They're very anti-guitar, like organic rock. They're like everything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like everything I despise, pretty much.
But you love the music.
Yeah, and I even love how shitty things they sing about, like "Let's go shopping." It's like it's horrible.
What's your big song? What's the big song? Pet Shop Boys. I know the name, but it's
What have I?
yeah.
West End Girls.
Oh,
They
yeah.
got that one.
They got bangers. Holy shit.
Yeah, I
So
don't.
that's your
I don't
shit.
like crank them all the time or anything.
It's your
but,
guilty
like,
pleasure or whatever.
I have no guilty pleasures.
Okay.
I don't believe in guilt.
This is the word I threw at you. Sorry.
Yeah.
But like, is there anything, any pop music?
Pop music?
Let me find out, like a Britney Spears fan or something. Nothing weird
No,
poppy like
not
that.
like that.
No Coldplay, no U2, Madonna. No.
Oh no, I know you're a big Madonna head. I mean, I like Prince.
Best.
I just did
Fucking best.
actually it airs tomorrow. I just
Print-
did a cover of I Would Die For You with it's me and Walter from Gorilla Biscuits.
Walter
Big
Scheibel's
sense.
my man.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here,
For
dude.
that 2 minutes to late night. Do you know that?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Walter, and then like some people from Harm's Way.
Holy shit.
and someone else from someone else.
It's
and
coming out tomorrow?
Yeah, like a video thing.
Dude, that's amazing,
And it's
man.
gonna be it's gonna be on Bandcamp for sale one day, and the benefits are going to the Dallas Hope charity, which works with like helping LGBTQ youth
That's
in
amazing.
trouble down there.
Amazing, man.
They did it. They named a few things after my friend Riley from Power Trip, who passed away. He did some work with.
Wow.
So, like,
Dang. That's amazing. Prince, man. That's awesome. So Prince and Pet Shop Boys, that's like your main. Not your main, but something people think, he listens to that?
I love the Beach Boys.
You grew up in that shit. Yeah. you
Yeah,
were.
my dad liked them. They're like, a really satanic band. So like,
What about hip hop? Anything? We have a favorite hip hop group?
I mean, I'm from Virginia. I love Clips. Come on.
Clips is great, man.
And shout out Pusha and No
Pusha T.
Malice. Those are my homies. So.
The last Pusha T record, incredible, man.
Yeah, he's a good
Incredible.
dude. So he came to see our last exhibit in Norfolk.
Oh, he did? Really?
Yeah. He showed up.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love Clips,
He's a
man.
good dude.
Underrated, man. Both those dudes.
Lately, I love Run the Jewels. I love.
Great. Excellent.
Of course, I love Wu-Tang and Public Enemy. I just discovered this
Yeah,
artist
something new.
from New Orleans. A kind of like.
So you listen to new shit too, right? New hip
Yeah,
hop?
of course.
My son turns me on to new shit too, yeah.
Guy named Alfred Banks from New Orleans.
Alfred Banks.
Hip hop guy. He just put out a record called One Guy Standing by Himself. It's kind of melodic, sort of melodic, smooth kind of
I'm
rap
check it
hip hop
out.
stuff, but he's pretty cool. And I like him. He speaks a lot on like destigmatizing mental illness, because like his brother killed himself.
Shit.
Had schizophrenia and killed himself not long ago. So he's like, in the hip hop world, much like in the metal world or some certain areas of the hardcore world, like it's real macho and it's not cool to talk about
feelings or
trouble that you're, it's not cool. So it's like,
for hip hop, that's great, man. Breaking that stereotype. Yeah, man. So you got your ears to the street, listen to new shit, like you're like.
Yeah, I do, man.
I love Turnstile. That's my favorite newest band.
They're great band. I saw them open up for Madball in North Carolina.
I remember that run.
I came out to see Hoya and them, and they're like, "Yo, check out this opening band." I'd never heard them. I was like, "What the fuck?" So I got to know those guys now. Turnstile guys are cool.
Great kids, man. Great band. Super talented. I like how they Trapped Under Ice, Angel Dust, all his bands.
Yeah.
All together, and they're like swap members and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like their own, it's a different generation, but it's like so cool.
Yeah.
They're all so talented, man.
Well, it's kind of like the way it was, though, man.
Yeah.
Like when the scene was smaller and everybody shared band members.
100%.
That's how your band started.
True, 100%. It's so true. And I love like how like Sammy's in Shelter, he's in Judge, he's in Youth of Today, and they all like have different moving members and moving parts.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like I just love the whole Turnstile camp. That's super nice kids, and stoked for them. All right, fuck. We covered everything on here. I'm trying to make sure I have notes, because I've been waiting to do this for over a year, and I got you in my fucking house, but I don't want to kill you. We already did 2.5 hours, and it's fucking awesome.
Right.
Did we miss anything you want to talk about? We covered a lot, right?
We covered a lot.
Shit, bro. I'm looking at the stuff you're doing.
Just
so many things. Anything I would plug that's coming out?
Come see us on tour.
Yeah, I'm psyched to come see you guys.
Yeah,
I'm psyched. Max is psyched to come see you guys, and Max really got me into you guys because Max was raised like on punk rock, hip hop, The Cure, Susie and the Banshees, all the shit my wife listens to in the living room. And then we went and we played a show and Slayer performed, and Max went and checked them out. But then on this other stage, he went and saw this band called Fit for an Autopsy, and that became his favorite band in the whole fucking world. Yeah, man. All those guys are great fucking humans. So Max found his own style of music that he didn't grow up on here.
Right.
And so from that, he found you guys and all kinds of fucking bands. Max, Death, Deicide, Obituary, fucking. So then he starts playing you guys in the car. I'm like, and obviously we became friends. I'm talking about the bands and how you turned me on to Lamb of God.
No, I didn't.
Well, yeah, you did in the car, playing him in the car, but I knew him already. But
Well, it wasn't actually from me. Like, I mean, I definitely would have if I could have found you guys earlier, but it was from one of my friends. His name's Anthony, and he
Shout
was
out
like,
to Anthony.
And shout out Anthony, and we were
Good taste having motherfucker.
Yeah, right. He was just listening to everything, and he was like, "Max, I have a song for you," and I was like, "What?" I think it was his sophomore year. He's like, "I have a song for you. I want you to listen to this," and I was like, "Okay," and he's like, "It's called Laid to Rest," and it's by Lamb of God. I was like, "Okay," so I remember I listened to it, and I really, really enjoyed it, which opened me up to like a bunch of other songs, like I think Deftones songs, stuff like that. Yeah.
Shout out Chino.
Shout out Chino. But I remember it was that song that just fucking, I don't know, it freaked me out. It was so good because I liked metal. I just didn't know a lot more about that kind of metal. I was just listening to screamo, just screaming death metal and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed it because I was always so hesitant. I was like, he's going to give me something and I'm just not going to like it. And then I listened to it. I was like, wow, this is actually really good. And then I learned how to play it. And only recently I was able to like really, really play it. Like I really tried and I know how to play the song now, but it was like
good. I don't.
Drummer is crazy. It's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
there you go. It's in your kitchen.
And there it
It's
is.
in my kitchen.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you. Shout out Anthony.
Oh, Randy, thank you so much for being here, man. That was fucking
man.
awesome. I'm sure. I don't think I missed anything. Usually I was like, I missed something. I'll hit you up next time you come to town. But so honored for you to be here, to call you my friend, actually be with you in real life.
In a real life.
Yeah, I mean, with so many mutual friends, we finally got to meet and hang. And thanks for sharing your story again. I know you told that story before, and I really appreciate you being here. Max, you have any questions for this guy or anything? Or no? Any questions?
No, on the podcast.
Okay, off the podcast. Okay.
Word.
All right. I'm sorry. I know you've been working hard too. You're tired.
Shit.
Well, thank you, man.
Hey, man. Thanks for
Appreciate you
having me.
being here.
It's cool.
Me, you guys can go surfing or something.
Yeah, man.
All right, peace. Bye. We are back on the podcast. You know, people listening, I always do this if I'm with somebody who I might not see for a long time or have just one day or a couple hours with. We want to add shit that I might have forgot when we leave to get coffee or food, and we did. Because I remember seeing, it was recently, you doing cameos, which you really don't do much of, and you did it to raise money. And you're raising money for land. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and you can kind of tell me what you can tell me about the land you have.
Yeah. So basically I have some friends that I've made in a different country down south. And they had started buying up former cattle land and stuff down there and letting it return to jungle, you know. So at the start of the pandemic, I laid out several tens of thousands of dollars to buy some land, former cattle land, and just fence it off and let it just return to jungle and chill. Because, you know, if you look at in the news, there's always stuff about the deforestation of the Amazon and so forth. I mean, it's not all the way down in Brazil in the Amazon, but it's that side of the world, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of land that gets used to grow things like palm oil, you know. There's a lot of land that's used for grazing cattle, for growing non-sustainable crops that just destroy ecosystems. So some friends of mine down there have started buying this land in consecutive pieces next to each other, contiguous pieces, and some became available, and I decided to buy it. And it's like, oh, you know, it's pretty expensive, but like, I'm gonna go on tour. And nope.
This was 2019,
and I bought it at the beginning of 2020.
Oh shit! Okay,
yeah. Right at the beginning, and I already had a small surf shack in that area, you know? But bought it and haven't, you know, I was like, holy fuck. So we had like an environmental scientists come and look at it and see what we needed to get rid of. And now we're replanting indigenous plants and stuff. And some of it, since it's been fenced off and cattle and farmers and stuff aren't on it anymore, like howler monkeys have moved back on it.
I want to look those up. I never heard of those before.
They're crazy, dude.
Okay.
They make wild noises. But
are they like chimpanzees or orangutans? Like what is
no, they're monkeys.
No, I know, but okay, yeah. But I never heard of that monkey. It's interesting.
Howler monkeys.
Okay.
Look them up. Look up their sound. Whoop. It's wild. But they've moved back onto land. They haven't been seen there in 30 years.
Wow, man, that's amazing. It feels safe to come back.
Yeah, and we're replanting indigenous plants and trying to restore like the waterbed of this sort of stream that comes through it that was polluted by years by like cattle, and pesticides and all that stuff. We're trying to really replenish the land, as it were. So it's a really cool thing, and I'm just gonna let it fucking chill and do its thing. So I started doing the Cameo to help kind of defray costs of that, because we're still putting money into it. And then, I've raised some money for I raised money for COVID relief in India.
Awesome.
To get some oxygenators to them down there during their recent crisis using Cameo. So it's been a cool thing, Are
you still doing cameos to raise money? People hit you up?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah. If I'm doing the, I'll do one every now and then for like a specific charity outside of like this private reforestation project I got going on.
Yeah.
And I'll announce, okay, I'm going to do half off Cameo for the next 10 hours. And like I did, the last one I did was COVID relief India.
That's a lot, man. Yeah, to do. I love it.
But everything else I'm just using to help support getting the land back. And some people are like, what are you going to do with the land? And I'm like, nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Why would you buy land and not do anything? Well, because we need jungle, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All the animals appreciate you, the plants, everything. It's fucking awesome.
And the air, oxygen, plants produce that.
Yeah.
Do you like breathing? That's why we got to stop polluting the ocean.
Yeah.
It's the largest.
Did you see Seaspiracy?
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
And that was a big vegan commercial by the end. I saw it coming.
And it was hard, man, to watch.
Yeah.
Have you ever been vegetarian or anything like that? Or
I was vegetarian for at times, not so much I've flirted with it from time to time, and it's still something.
Because you're so environmentally conscious.
Yeah, it's something I still think about, and it's like, particularly, with the way they produce meat and how much methane cows and stuff give off. So it's like, it's kind of like this, not so much like ethical, I don't want to eat animals, but more in that things are just like way out of balance right now.
Yeah.
Because
obviously you care about animals, the environment, the planet. Yeah. It's so obvious. Yeah.
So that's one of the weird things I think about internally with myself often,
Yeah.
So
I can see that happening in the future.
Yeah. So yeah, me too. It's just something. It's not like I'm just like, I can't hurt a caterpillar or whatever. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that things are way out of whack.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, you're doing your part to help,
trying
mend the world, I appreciate it. It's awesome.
Trying.
Cool. Yeah. And one more last thing. I realized that you put a new record out in 2020 and you haven't been able to play any of those songs or tour on that yet.
Yeah.
Did you record that in 2019?
Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, we did. It's hard the time has gotten so weird.
I know. But then you drop that record, then it does really, really well, but then you can't go promote it. So now it's a year later on almost 2-year-old song. That's going to be interesting to go perform new songs that really aren't new anymore, right?
Right. But at the same time, I think COVID and put everything, just kind of put a pause button on it. So for us and maybe for the fans, seeing these songs for the first time, I don't think it's really going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Unlike
people are going to be so psyched to see the new songs live.
Yeah. Because it
was like you missed your shot at the hit song or the radio. You know what I'm saying? You missed
exactly. We've never written like We didn't have a number one.
Oh, you missed your shot, man.
Yeah, you know?
Kids are waiting. They're excited to see those songs live finally.
Well,
But,
we
yeah.
were talking about like your band earlier. You never put out records, but for 7 years at a time.
In between, yeah.
Like that's the difference between like bands from like the metal, hardcore, punk rock, whatever, more underground scene than pop music.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm going to be able to do Lamb of God as long as I fucking want.
Totally.
That is not dependent upon radio or the internet like trend
Facts.
or anything. You're going to be able to do H2O
Yeah.
as long as you want, because we are part of an actual viable subculture that can exist independently of, tastemakers. Or whatever.
It's a great point. Yeah.
We don't need it.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Yeah.
We don't. It's not based on a hit song or anything or charts
Or
and none of
marketing or any of that shit.
It's pretty fucking amazing. It's really really lucky that it's like a year later and go out and play those songs and people are like, oh my god, it's almost like the record just came out because they've been waiting to see them live.
Yeah.
It's gonna be exciting, man. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. We
Life's
will
coming
see
back. Yeah. Fuck. All right. Well, thank you, man. So so people can still hit you up for Cameo. It's under your name, right?
Yeah, at D. Randall Blythe. The THE is silent, but I say it Blythe like that because people don't know.
I know.
At D. Randall Blythe. Look me up on Cameo.
People got your name wrong your whole life.
Help save the fuck. Yeah, my whole life.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever mispronounced your last name?
They say like
Morrison?
Morris, like Morris the cat, or fucking Morris.
Right. I've
Spell
got
my name wrong.
Blythe, Blythe, Blight, like I'm a blight upon humanity. One time, Black. I'm like, how the hell did you get Black? Randy Black sounds like a country singer.
It does sound like a country singer.
Yeah, that's my alter ego. I guess.
Would you ever play any type of music than the music you do now, like a solo?
Of course.
Like some different style of singing.
Yes, of course. I'm going. I'm here. I'm going to go record with one of my projects, Saudade.
Yeah.
Saudade, excuse me. It's not metal at all.
Yeah. You like doing different things and pushing yourself and.
Right. I mean, why would I be in another metal band? I got one metal band. We do all right.
Your voice sounds like you could be really good singing, like actual singing too.
It is all right if the music calls for it, dude.
Yeah, I can see that. You're not scared.
No, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to say it. Some people are like, I'm like, fuck you. I'm an artist.
No, you are.
I'll try what I want.
Photography, everything, art, everything. Yeah.
If people don't like it, then they don't have to listen to it. I think people are scared of judgment.
I think so too.
You can't be scared, dude.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna. Yeah. Okay, we're ending on this. Thank you once again for coming back on the pod. And I know you're in town for a couple more days, so maybe we'll do a part 3. I'm just kidding.
If you think of some other shit.
I will. Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah,
this was awesome, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Bye. Hey, y'all. Liquid Death's been so kind to give me a promo code. So for your first purchase on liquiddeath.com, go to liquiddeath.com/OLOC, and you get a free set of koozies with your first purchase of H2O, still or sparkling. If not, you can try it also at Whole Foods or 7-Eleven. Use the promo code OLOC for your first purchase of Liquid Death. Thank you, Liquid Death, for your support. Appreciate you so much. Murder your thirst. H2O saves lives, y'all.